Where 100,000 or more gather, there's football in the midst of it. The long journey to the postseason begins with a single step tonight in Death Valley. LSU ranks 6th in America. Begins the season at home, facing Georgia Southern out of the Sun Belt. So glad to have you here with us tonight in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, as the season gets started for LSU and Georgia Southern, with a huge crowd expected on hand. A beautiful evening, and we welcome you upstairs to the booth. My cousins, Kirk Morrison, Edward Ashoff, is along tonight as well. So much talk over the last several months has been about the new look offense for LSU. A lot of familiar faces, but some big tweaks.
Well, look, this season's going to be about the two Joes. At first is Joe Burrow, the returning quarterback, leading his team to 10 wins last year, and no one really knew who he was. He was a transfer quarterback, but this year he's got a new friend that come along with him, Joe Brady, his new offensive passing game coordinator, who is going to help him hopefully transcend this offense to something we've never seen in the history of LSU football. A passing game, something that this team is looking forward to going out there throughout the SEC and showing what they can do.
Georgia Southern, winners of the coin toss, they defer to the second half. LSU gets the ball to start the evening. And a fair catch signaled for to start. So 15 minutes here on the first quarter clock for this new look offense led by Joe Burrow, the redshirt senior, in his second year at the helm for the Tigers. Threw for almost 3,000 yards a year ago as LSU finished 10-3, 5-3 in the SEC. And here they go, 1st and 10 from the 25. Burrow throws incomplete on first down, targeting Jamar Chase to start.
One of the big things early on, Mike, is you want to see what different personnel groupings does LSU start with. Right there, 1 tight end in the game, 3 wide receivers. That's part of this new offense, being able to change the personnel.
And the first run of the season goes to Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the junior from here in Baton Rouge, their second leading rusher a year ago. And it's a stable of running backs. Expect to see as many as 5 tonight against this Georgia Southern defense. Strong at cornerback especially. Vildor and Brinson, 2 of their best on defense. Burrow on 3rd down and 3 has time and completes the short throw out across the 35 to his most frequent target last year, Justin Jefferson.
Oh, that's just an easy throw. That's 3rd down, going to your moneymaker, your guy, Justin Jefferson. That's an easy throw. That's an easy completion on 3rd down for Joe Burrow, keeping the chains moving.
They spread him wide as he brings the running back Edwards-Helaire into the backfield.
You've seen so far the different formations that we've seen. That time, Helaire out of the backfield, motions back in. It's an indicator for Burrow if it's man or zone.
4-man rush. He steps up, throws across the middle, has it complete and into Georgia Southern territory. The first catch for Thaddeus Moss, former NC State Wolfpack member, gets 17. Who gets the starting nod at tight end here?
Well, we know that Joe Burrow's in the master's program here at LSU, but he's in the master's program at quarterback as well. Looking left, coming back right to Thaddeus Moss. It shows you just how in tune he is so far with this new offense.
Burrow, the Ohio native, got his undergraduate degree at Ohio State and now in a liberal arts master's program, taking it online here at LSU. He's got Jefferson wide open inside the 20, a juke to the 5. 1st and goal, LSU.
We knew coming in this was going to be a big play offense. This is what they were going for this year. And this time Jefferson actually stopped the route. He didn't think that Burrow saw him. He's sitting there wide open, catch and run. Some of the big play that they hope throughout the season.
After a pickup of 44 off to the right side, Edwards-Helaire is in for the touchdown. Penned penalty flag thrown by the referee.
I think they're going to get the center here, Lloyd Cushenberry, a little hold.
Holding. Number 76 offense. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Right tackle, Austin Deculus, Lloyd Cushenberry, right there at the line of scrimmage. But you see how fast this offense is getting to the line of scrimmage. No longer is this they huddle up, take your time. It's get right back on the ball. Big play to Jefferson. They're right back on the ball, wiping a touchdown off the board.
Still first down, LSU. Burrow throws over the top, and he's got it. Touchdown, Jamar Chase. The opening drive, 6 points for LSU.
Boy, that sure looked easy, Mike. That drive was easy. And think about it, they had a run formation. That personnel grouping was run. Torrey Carter, who's kind of the blocking fullback in the game, and it's just simple play action, and Burrow throwing to a spot for a touchdown.
New kicker Cade York is on for the extra point. He nails it. 7-0 Tigers, 2.5 in. And we welcome in those of you who just saw the Razorbacks open in victorious fashion against Portland State. LSU on its opening drive gets a touchdown. Ed Ogeron's new look offense goes real quick, just 2.5 minutes. Mike Cousins, Kirk Morrison, Edward Ashoff along with you here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana for the season opener for the number 6 team in the country and a couple of 10-win teams a year ago.
Yeah, we already know the opponents against each other this year. Last year, great seasons. How do you repeat that performance a year ago? We know LSU, national championship aspirations, but early on, we've already seen how quick this offense, this new offense for LSU, how are they going to attack you? They bring in the run game. They bring in the run personnel grouping, and then what do you see? It's play action. Joe Burrow already hitting Chase in the back of the end zone for a touchdown. If you wanted to script an opening drive, that's the drive that you want to script. That's what we're talking about here at LSU now. The 2019 offense for the Tigers.
Chase caught the touchdown. Justin Jefferson had a 44-yard catch mixed in those 6 plays as well. Avery Atkins, the touchback master, sends it halfway into the end zone. Last year led the country with a touchback on about 89% of his kickoffs. So the challenge begins here for Georgia Southern. They ranked 7th in the country last year. 266 yards rushing a game. A triple option attack led by their quarterback, the redshirt junior Shai Werts.
A guy who threw no interceptions a season ago. That's the number that I want people to realize. This isn't a throwing team, but yet Shai Werts, when he does throw the football, very accurate.
And Kirk, it's not to say that they'll have to be perfect. Matt LaRoche gets the opening carry, the redshirt sophomore, but they'll have to execute to a degree of absolute certainty tonight as they're going to be outsized in just about every position.
Yeah, if you didn't get a chance to see the LSU defense walk off the bus, trust me, it still scares me as a former NFL player how big these guys are. And you can only imagine what Georgia Southern is seeing on that offensive line, looking across at some of these big guys starting at 346, 309, and 308 in the front 3 line.
One yard on the first play. Logan Wright, the sophomore from Jacksonville, Florida, maybe one more. That brings them to about 3rd and 8 here, a position that's not advantageous for this offense that throws about 9 passes a game.
And if you're LSU defensively, you've done your job. 1st and 2nd down, you've kept them to a situation on 3rd and long. This is where you want Shai Werts to have to look, stare down the barrel, and deliver an outstanding pass. That's what you want from him if you're Georgia Southern. But if you're LSU, it's about bringing the pressure. I'm keeping my eye on number 7, Grant Delpit.
Handoff to the left side is a minuscule gain. Back to LaRoche again, who got the 1st and 3rd carries. And no penetration through that strong defensive line. Tyler Shelvin up front and Jacob Phillips, their top returning tackler from a year ago. 87 tackles for him, as they've got a big gap, a void at linebacker, but plenty of talent to come in as well.
Yeah, that gap you're talking about is Devin White. They're all everything last year. Linebacker, a guy who was a heart and soul of the defense. How do you replace number 40 from the defense a year ago?
Derek Stingley across the 35. Now he's got some room to run. He steps his way across the 40. And inside the 35-yard line for the freshman cornerback on punt return duty. Everything's coming up Tigers here in the first 4.5 minutes. The new look offense, a 6-play touchdown drive. And they've got great starting field position when we return to Death Valley on Saturday night. Great storytelling on that program. One of the looks last year was at Shreveport. You and I got to go there for the Independence Bowl, featuring some of the great restaurants there. The drone shots were unbelievable. LSU up 7-0, one drive into the game. Georgia Southern ended up with a punt, and a return of about 30 yards from Derek Stingley gives the Tigers great field position. He went 32 to set them up here 1st and 10. Burrow gives it up. It's a juke. And then a couple more yards for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Raynard Ellis, his first year on the field at Georgia Southern as a transfer from Furman, makes the tackle after a gain of about 5.
Second down, 6.
An interesting pre-snap shift. Still Edwards-Helaire off to the left side, trying to stiff arm his way through the defense, but doesn't make much progress against Kendrick Duncan.
Yeah, we're still in the script plays for this offense. You script the first 15 plays, and you get 6 in the first drive, and you get a touchdown, and now you're just kind of showing different things. You're showing different looks. I'll tell you, that play right there, Mike, is probably for next week's opponent, Texas. You're just throwing another wrinkle in there because we know who LSU plays next week, showing you the different things that they're going to try to do and execute throughout the season.
Look at number 10 in white, the bottom of your screen. Stephon Sullivan, former receiver turned tight end. Burrow looks his way and checks down to a wide open Edwards-Helaire, who's inside the 20. There have been some very open Tigers receivers and backs on these first 2 drives.
But that's a quarterback who goes through his progressions. He's already looking at Sullivan to begin. He sees that Sullivan is covered. Oh, wait, there's my running back. That's an easy throw for a quarterback to pick up 15 yards for a first down.
The inside give, Edwards-Helaire again, their second leading rusher last year. The big season from Nick Brossette, now 6 straight seasons with a 1,000-yard rusher here at LSU.
It's about running the football always, but this year they want to put the ball in the air a little bit, but remember, it's still their bread and butter.
Up the middle, the defensive force keeps him from hitting the goal line. But this year, the philosophy changes a little bit, according to Steve Ensminger, the offensive coordinator. In years past, it has been run to set up the pass. This year, the philosophy is pass to set up the run. Touchdown, LSU. Couple of first quarter quick strikes for the number 6 team in the country.
You talk about the passing game is what they want to do, but you get inside that 10, that 5-yard line. Let's be honest with ourselves. LSU is a power running football team, and that offensive line getting great push up front, and Edwards-Helaire being able to pick which hole he wants to go through.
It was a much maligned, oft injured offensive line last year. Some tweaks and changes for them tonight as well, with Badara Traore starting at left tackle. Nevertheless, looking sharp, up 2 scores.
You knew the risks when you decided to drive drunk. There could be a crash. People could get hurt or killed. You could get arrested. But one thing's for sure, you were wrong when you said it was no big deal.
I've scored some pretty good deals on Poshmark, like the Bread Air Jordan 1. This is my favorite sneaker of all time. I was able to find a pair really easily without spending a crazy amount of money.
Get $5 off your first order. Download the free Poshmark app now and use offer code LOVEPOSH.
Yes, it's the first word of any new discovery. But when allergies attack, the excitement fades. Allegra helps you say yes with the fastest non-drowsy allergy relief and turn any half-hearted yes into an all-in yes. Allegra, live your life, not your allergies.
Good tattoos aren't cheap. Cheap tattoos aren't good.
You can give a girl your heart, just don't give her your PIN number.
Regions understands that knowing how far you've come can help get you where you want to go. And our tools make the journey even easier.
It's okay if she makes more money than you. Actually, it's pretty cool.
Switch for good. Regions has the people, tools, and tech to move you forward.
So here's the deal. Somewhere along the way, Western boots got too expensive. And the styles? Well, Tecovas fixed that. We make handcrafted, high-quality Western boots from the finest materials for a fair price. With free shipping, returns, and exchanges, and service that would make our grandmothers proud. From comfort to quality to price, value is one of our values. Find your pair only at Tecovas.com.
The College Football Playoff lives on ESPN.
Tonight in Baton Rouge, along with Kirk Morrison, Mike Cousins, and we'll bring in the third member of our team tonight, Edward Ashoff, down on the sidelines.
Mike, the motto of the 2019 LSU Tigers is block out the noise. And unlike last year, the noise around this program has been pretty positive. That number 6 ranking, some people talking about possible playoff berth. But Coach O told me that makes things a little bit more difficult. And here's why. A lot of these guys aren't really used to expectations like this. And he told me it's even worse now to try and manage them. Because as soon as you put your hands down, you get punched in the jaw. So we got to be hungry. I got to be hungry as a coach. And guess what, Ed? We're hungry. Back to you, Mike.
Well, Edward, I think you've got the pulse of this program with how much time you spent here the last couple of weeks. You may have to pay heavy income tax in the state of Louisiana this year, but Coach Ogeron told us yesterday in their gleaming new football facility, you expect those high expectations when you come here. It's just how you deal with them that's different.
Yeah, especially with a returning starting quarterback in the SEC. We know about Alabama and Tua. We know about Fromm at Georgia. And Burrow, who's quietly put himself a nice little career together. Last year, we know what he did. But this year, having that returning quarterback automatically puts those expectations on a program.
Georgia Southern has a returner at quarterback as well, Shai Werts, running the triple option. They gained just a couple yards on their opening drive, and he's gang tackled on the edge. The safeties, Jacoby Stevens, and for the first time, Grant Delpit getting in on the action.
Early on, I've already seen a couple NFL scouts, and the first thing that I asked them when I walked through this hallway here at LSU in the press box, who you here to see? And it's number 7. Watch him run the alley. Grant Delpit, the All-American unanimous just a season ago, but to watch him play in a game like this, they're probably not going to throw a lot, but watching him go down and run the alley, we're going to see number 7 all over the field today.
He welcomes those high expectations as well. And they come along with wearing the number 7. They went backwards on the first play, and Werts, Roland having to throw across his body, gets rid of it. 3rd and long again for offensive coordinator Bob DeBess and Shai Werts, Georgia Southern.
Well, you got to have positive yards on first down. That's how it's going to start. If you're Georgia Southern, you're trying to attack this defense of LSU. I'm probably going to try to go after these young cornerbacks. You got a couple true freshmen who are going to be out there. Try to find some different ways to get the ball out on the perimeter. Force these young corners to have to tackle. I'm not going to run to the teeth of the LSU defense. It's just not an advantage for your football team.
Werts goes incomplete with a pass intended for Mark Mashad, and they'll have to punt again.
Well, they had the right idea, right? They went after number 24, Derek Stingley, the true freshman cornerback, number 1 at his position just a year ago coming out of high school. We've already seen him return 1. Did you try to kick away from a young freshman, try to make a name for yourself on this LSU defense?
Top-ranked corner in the ESPN 300 in the class of 2019. And only the 6th true freshman to start on defense for LSU in the last 20 years. With good speed, he's shouldered into the ground right at midfield. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns for LSU. Joe Burrow gets the ball when we come back.
Gear up for fall at Academy Sports and Outdoors. Hey, man.
Yeah.
Would you rather face a furious SEC defensive line or poison ivy?
Well, what kind of coverage are we talking about?
Like defensive coverage?
No, like body percentage, because calamine lotion's gross.
I don't know, 40%?
I would like to hear option 3.
There is no option 3.
Well, what if I could give the SEC defensive line a case of poison ivy?
Look closely. This $50 Buffalo gold piece was the purest gold coin ever struck using .9999. That's 4 nines, pure 24-karat gold. The U.S. government had to stop production because of a shortage of specially made gold blanks. It's no wonder the price of that edition has gone through the roof. Now you can reserve your own copy clad in 14 milligrams of 24-karat gold. The final issue price was to be set at $50 per proof. But now this private, non-monetary 24-karat gold-clad masterpiece can be yours for only $9.95. With gold prices up almost 300% since 2003, price can only be guaranteed for 7 days. Each new 2019 $50 gold Buffalo Tribute proof is clad in 14 milligrams of 24-karat gold, is proof struck, and utilizes the famous Buffalo nickel design. Strict limit of 5 proofs per caller. You must hurry. Call now.
To order, call 1-800-613-9503. Strict limit of 5 proofs per caller.
LSU's up 14-0 after 2 drives on Georgia Southern. After a punt return from Derek Stingley that went for 20 yards, the replay booth wanted to take a look and see the extent to which he was hit on this play. It was a hard hit.
Yeah, it was a hard hit, but the first thing is you want to look and see how was the contact initiated. And number 45, Rashad Byrd, the redshirt junior, is he leading with the helmet? That's something that you want to look for and possibly an indicator for targeting.
There's a lot that goes into that, the way that is being officiated on replay review this year after a call on the field is a little different as well. Leonard Fournette is in at running back here for LSU, and he gets the quick pass from Burrow, gets back to the line of scrimmage, and nothing more. So as you watch that replay, you saw that there was a hard hit, correct, but there was not forcible contact with the crown of the helmet. So you had an indicator of targeting with the lowering of the helmet, but not the forcible contact to the head or neck on Stingley to force a targeting penalty. Here comes pressure, but it's all to set up the screen. The dump down to Fournette. And he's just shy of the sticks. 3rd and short upcoming for LSU, which has looked sharp and nearly unstoppable to start.
It is going to be interesting throughout the season to see the roles of each running back for LSU.
They get the first down through the pile, because in this running back group as well, you've got Chris Curry, who's a redshirt freshman. He played in 4 games last year. And then 2 true freshmen, John Emery, who is the #1 running back in the ESPN 300 class. They flipped that commitment from Georgia to go along with Tyrion Davis-Price, the number 16 running back and a bigger bruiser style back.
And I think each back will have their own role. They're going to come in and have their good traits and bad traits. Just see how will their roles develop throughout the season.
Burrow's got time. He fires downfield to the end zone. Incomplete as double coverage swarmed in on Terrace Marshall.
That's one of those throws that Joe Burrow wish he had back. He underthrew a touchdown. That's a touchdown if he lets that ball go just a little bit earlier. Marshall just sitting there waiting for the ball to come down, and he's one of those guys that Steve Ensminger, offensive coordinator at LSU, he wanted to see. He was excited about what he did a year ago as a freshman, but now as a sophomore, they think he's got great home run ability. We already see him trying to go up top.
Four-man rush by the Eagles. Throw to the sideline. It's brought in by Chase, coming off a 23-catch season last year, and really showed a lot of promise late in the season, especially in the Fiesta Bowl against UCF.
And just like that, they're right back on the ball. LSU's offense. This is the hurry up. This is the fast pace. This is what they're doing now in 2019. Look at Burrow getting upset at the official.
He's mad he wanted to go. There were 2 more defenders coming off the field. That's short on the give up the middle for LSU.
And that's something that you have to get used to, because when you look at how fast this offense is going, the officials will allow the defense to substitute.
4th down, here they go, feeling confident and with good reason. First down for Leonard Fournette down to the 20-yard line.
Deculus, Lewis, that right side of the offensive line, that's where I'm running if I'm the running back. If I'm going to call plays, especially in the run game, Steve Ensminger, I'm going off the right side of that line behind a senior and a junior to get that good push.
That's certainly the more steady side of the offensive line coming into game #1. Experienced starters. Burrow goes underneath, and it's Fournette to the 15-yard line. Edward Ashoff down on the field. This team's moving fast right now.
Yeah, you can tell how fast they're trying to go. And Joe Burrow told me earlier this week that, hey, some of the linemen did not like this at first. They were huffing and puffing and having to get into better shape. And Coach O, when I brought it up to him, he said, look, these guys got to get into shape, and I got to be patient because I don't want to hurt my defense.
And Steve Ensminger, the offensive coordinator, said, look, guys, this is the offense you asked for. Better get those rear ends in shape. Get ready to run. Tyrion Davis-Price in at running back, the freshman from here in Baton Rouge. Burrow to the corner. Touchdown LSU. It's Justin Jefferson. Joe Burrow's dad, who retired from coaching, longtime defensive coordinator in college, most recently at Ohio University, knowing it's his son's last collegiate season, said, no way am I missing this year.
Yeah, Jimmy Burrow, you mentioned the defensive coordinator. I've sat down with him numerous times to finally see his son throughout a football season. He's been coaching pretty much his whole entire career as a high school and college football player, but man, how excited for a dad to wear his son's jersey to go see him throw a touchdown pass in Death Valley.
Does Maddie do yoga? Does Jake lift weights? Do you read his texts? Should I be worried about his body odor?
There are lots of questions out there. What to feed your kids should never be one of them. Farm Rich, it's real life good.
Sling knows you can't miss the best of college football. That's why we give you the ESPN coverage you love and more, so you can catch every can't-miss moment from the first kickoff through the playoffs. The college football you love on ESPN for less. Get started for just $25 a month.
I'm a tailgater tailgating to get to my tailgate. Now, it might not get me there any faster, but hey, it gets me ready for football. Let's tailgate. I can't go anywhere. But you're so busy watching me tailgate that you don't see the one in front of you. And your cut rate car insurance, they might not pay for this. So get Allstate and be better protected from mayhem. Like me.
Jimmy Burrow, the father of LSU quarterback Joe Burrow. He played at Nebraska, a longtime defensive coordinator. His other sons, Jamie and Dan, played at Nebraska, and he's going to see every game this year.
Yeah, he's going to see a nice little slant corner route and just throw it to an area. That's what Joe Burrow does here. And you talk about an excited father getting the chance to see his son. How awesome is that? When we asked Joe Burrow yesterday, the first thing he said was, you know, Joe, look, your dad's going to be at every game. How does that feel? He said, it's something special. It's something special. And I said, so what do you guys actually talk about, father and son, after a game? He says, we talk a little coverage, and that's about it. Maybe a couple questions on coverage and things I should have saw. But now to be able to be here, I know Jimmy Burrow, one excited papa.
171 total yards for LSU. 1 yard for the triple option attack of Georgia Southern.
I'm really impressed watching that offense for LSU. It's almost you want to see them back on the field again because we haven't seen this up-tempo type of offense here at LSU.
This is where the defense has to make decisions. And LaRoche, again, takes the pitch to the outside. That's the best play we've seen so far for the Eagles.
Now, if I'm Georgia Southern, I look at the score and I understand what's going on, but you stay within your offense. You can't get it all back at once. But the first thing for me is putting Shy Warts on edges, putting him on the perimeter. They need to do more of that. That last play was something I want to see more of from Georgia Southern.
LaRoche gets wrapped up, 3rd and short, which is what they like. Kirk, from a defensive perspective, you played at San Diego State in the Mountain West. You face a service academy. You see this type of offense. What's it like preparing throughout the week for something that's totally different than what you see the rest of the year?
Well, I'll tell you this, Mike, as a linebacker, I'm excited. My best games were against Air Force in terms of tackles, but as a defense collectively, it's assignment discipline type of defense. Everyone must do their job. Not a lot of heroes in a game like this. It's just doing your job, and that's how the big plays come. Discipline.
Movement and flags. Braden Fehoko jumping across the line for LSU.
You get easy first downs like that when the defensive line jumps off.
Offside. Number 91 defense. Made contact with the offensive player. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
The senior Fehoko, who got his degree in communication studies this summer, native of Hawaii, a key cog along the defensive line for LSU, and Dave Aranda, the 4th-year defensive coordinator. On first down, a pitch, and it's right to the sticks for Georgia Southern with Logan Wright. Now let's go to the studio for an update with Dart.
All right, guys, thank you much. Checking in on what's going on in Arlington. Of course, the marquee game of the day, Auburn and Oregon. Oregon's opening drive, 11 plays, 74 yards, resulted in a touchdown by C.J. Verdell of 7-zip Ducks.
A lot of big games around the country tonight, and LSU trying to avoid being one of the SEC teams that plays a nail-biter today. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns, and just about a minute left here in the opening quarter. A couple of 10-win teams from a year ago. How about that tackle from Damone Clark, who did not get juked and instead wrapped it up?
a good job of just staying home. Always keying in on the quarterback. You always have to have someone on the pitch, someone on the quarterback, and someone to run the alley. That time, Clark making sure to not commit to anybody except the quarterback. He's just one of those, the part of the inside linebacker group. You asked me the question earlier, Mike, how are they going to replace a Devin White? It's going to be by committee. It's going to be Jacob Phillips, Michael Divinity, Damone Clark, Patrick McQueen. It is going to be a group inside linebacker by committee.
Works, he's stripped, loose ball, LSU's got it, picked up by the Tigers, Patrick Queen.
The guy who created that fumble is a guy that everybody around here in Baton Rouge is so happy he came back for his senior season. Rashard Lawrence, number 90, coming off the edge, and it's all effort. It's all effort, especially when the quarterback is doing what? He's getting out of the pocket, but Rashard Lawrence coming through and watch the little tomahawk, gets the ball out. And one of those linebackers, I said by committee, it's scoop and try to score. Patrick McQueen, outstanding job by Rashard Lawrence. One of the reasons why he came back to LSU for his senior season. He could have left early, but those national championship aspirations is why he's here.
With short time in the first quarter, it's underneath to Davis Price, the freshman, for a nice chunk of yardage. That brings the first quarter to a close for LSU. 21-0. If you didn't believe it now. Ed Orgeron said, we are going to come out guns blazing, not saving anything for Texas next week. The number 6 team in the country, 3 touchdowns up after 15 minutes.
You don't think it'll happen to you, and you surely don't think it'll happen twice. I've lost 2 homes in my lifetime. First, it was a fire. My agent was right there and helped me rebuild. Then the tornado hit and destroyed everything again. Both times, my independent agent and auto owners took care of me like someone takes care of family.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there. Auto Owners Insurance.
Mom, you gotta get yourself in the car. I wish I could save faster. You're making good choices. You'll get there.
Are you gonna tell me about this?
I know I can't afford to go.
I still have this car, so you can afford to go. I'm so proud of you.
Principal, we can help you plan for that. Start today at principal.com.
My name is Mo Hassan, and my nonprofit Second Spoon. We're taking surplus foods and we're distributing them to the homeless in different communities. When I first got to college, I saw firsthand in the cafeterias just how much food was wasted. We need to find a way to repurpose these foods. Just seeing firsthand the homeless people's faces when we bring them food and positively affect them in that way is amazing. I just know it's more than football, and we have a platform, and I think we owe it to the community to use that platform for good.
Learn more at belk.com/Project Hometown.
Tecovas does some things the way they've always been done. We make traditional Western boots. As for everything else, we went our own way. Handmade with the highest quality leathers, sold only direct to you for a fair price. With free shipping, returns, and exchanges, and service that would make our grandmothers proud. Everything we do is for you. Find your pair at tecovas.com.
One Saturday, long ago, it began. The games were played on fields of green. One simple goal, make us proud. Proud that we could hang with the Northern powers at first. but it quickly became pride in our school, pride in our state, and our sweet Southern home. Pride is what built the SEC. It's what makes the stories worth telling.
Saturdays in the South, the history of SEC football, Part 1.
Second quarter got started quickly. That's how quick LSU is going here tonight. Ready to go and not eager to wait between snaps. A handoff to Tyrion Davis-Price. Gets them to first and goal. LSU at advantageous field position after a fumble forced by Rashard Lawrence. And here's the handoff to the left side for Davis-Price, who's cleared out of bounds at about the 10-yard line. So, Kirk, everything we heard about this offense was that it was going to be quick, it was going to be different through 15 minutes. What do you think?
Well, I don't know if I can throw enough bouquets out there right now. I mean, they've been going fast. But I've seen at Joe Burrow, a guy who right now has options. Like, he's going to the line of scrimmage, and watch how calm he is. He's able to have more freedom at the line of scrimmage to be able to find his best matchup and exploit it.
And what he said, what you're seeing is, in case anybody was second guessing whether the offense actually would change this year. They're inside the 10-yard line now to bring up third down with Davis-Price, the freshman, getting some playing time here. So if it's not opened up, then the coaches have a whole new offense I never heard of. They're saving for the first couple games. It has been different. It was run heavy the first 2 years under Ed Ogeron, now in his third full season. And this is the offense he's wanted for this team. He's got the personnel and the coaching staff, a perfect confluence to make it happen.
Just a couple seasons ago, it was Matt Canada, the offensive coordinator. That didn't work out. Insminger last year did some things, but Joe Brady coming on as the passing game coordinator, totally different offense.
Burrow's got time, and he's got 6. Terrace Marshall with a touchdown grab.
The one thing when you move fast, especially within this offense, it forces the defense to have to communicate. But I love the eye discipline of Joe Burrow. I'm going to continue to keep watching his eyes. He continues to look left and come all the way back to his third and fourth read. He missed a Marshall earlier for a touchdown, but that time he truly got 6 by throwing to number 6, Terrence Marshall.
Extra point good from the freshman Cade York. 28-0 LSU.
Hey, it's hard. If you're a linebacker, if you're a safety, you're looking right. You're trying to go with the quarterback's eyes, and all of a sudden he comes all the way back. Finds pay dirt.
Imagine feeling fearless when you walk into the dentist. Imagine a mouthwash that strengthens your enamel while preventing cavities up to 70%. Act Anti-Cavity Rinse. For a confident feeling in your oral health, stop imagining. Start acting.
With the money I've made on Poshmark, I've been able to pay for all our family's vacations.
I could pay for my wedding just on what I've made from Poshmark.
I've made over $10,000, and I was able to buy my new car.
Download the free Poshmark app now.
Son, what kind of sandwich is that? Got bacon, egg, sausage, andouille sausage, pancake, cheese, bunch of gravy. Been thinking about calling it the Saving. Why don't you? I haven't put the goat on it yet.
One Saturday, long ago, it began. The games were played in fields of green. One simple goal, make us proud. Proud that we could hang with the northern powers at first, but it quickly became pride in our school, pride in our state, and our sweet Southern home. Pride is what built the SEC. It's what makes the stories worth telling.
Saturdays in the South, the history of SEC football, Part 1, Tuesday at 9 on SEC Network, presented by Regions Bank.
Everyone loves the benefits of compression socks, but they're just so hard to get on. Until now, introducing the all-new CopperFit Energy Socks, the first ever easy-on, easy-off fit to help reduce swelling, relieve tired, achy muscles, and provide energizing support.
Being a SWAT commander, we train to win. The CopperFit Energy Socks, they didn't feel like other compression socks. They totally exceeded my expectations.
Copper-infused fabric woven into our compression sock to help reduce swelling discomfort.
They just slip right on, yet they still have that same compression that you want.
Extra support around the arch and ankle for relief of muscle aches and pains.
These were fantastic. A lot of compression socks are a little too thin. I could wear these every day.
Feel more energized. Get your energy socks now online at GetEnergySocks.com or call 1-800-368-5141. Order now and get a second pair free.
I have so much energy, I can go, hey, you want a dad?
Copperfit Energy Socks.
Dari Noka in studio. Let's update a couple of games. Georgia in what is a red out, frankly, in Nashville right now. James Cook into the end zone. Touchdown for the Dogs. They're up 14-zip late first. Kelly Bryant did throw a touchdown pass for Missouri, and here hands to Larry Roundtree. And the Tigers up 14-zip after one in Laramie, guys.
All right, Dari, back here at LSU, 28-0. The debut of the new look LSU offense has been sharp. Edward Ashoff.
Yeah, guys, I asked Joe Burrow simply, what do you like about this new offense? And he just said, man, defenses are going to have to cover the whole field now. Teams last year would load the box, they'd double one guy, and sometimes we'd be out of options. This year, you have to put a guy covering every part of the field, and that's going to put a lot of stress on defenses. And then he looked at me and said, look, we're going to still have some of that run-in that LSU likes to do, but for the most part, we're going to be going fast, we're spreading the ball out, and we're getting to our playmakers in space. And I think they've done that more than a couple times already tonight.
You're right about that. The deepest group of wide receivers that Coach O said he's had since he's been at LSU. That's the reason why you're able to do what you can do on offense.
Wirtz goes down to the backfield. Grant Delpit penetrates through to make the stop.
It's a highlight tape every time you find number 7. You almost want to put a spot shadow around him every single play. Just watch 7. He just comes near screen. He's a short tackler. It just goes to the highlight tape for Grant Delpit.
He was not a big guy coming out of high school and going into high school. 5'6", 125. Didn't get his first offers until signing day of his junior year. So February of his junior year. And then things really started to roll in. The Houston schools and eventually LSU. Short feed, it's Matt LaRoche who's gotten the most action out of the backfield so far for Georgia Southern. This has a total of just 5 yards here in the second quarter. 5 yards total for the game.
This is where LSU defensively, how can they get into a situation where they're forcing Georgia Southern to have to pass? 3rd and 13, you kind of know what's going on. But it's the 4-man rush. We saw Rashard Lawrence a little bit earlier with the sack, forced fumble. And now you get a situation where Dave Aranda, defensive coordinator, he can drop 7 and rush 4 and force Wirtz to have to find an area and throw.
There is a flag down. Whistles came in pre-snap on that play. As Calevon Chason got into the backfield. And he's going to be another integral part along with Delpit for the defense this year.
Before the snap, delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, it's still 3rd down.
That's all on the quarterback there. He's got to be able to look at that clock. That's the clock he's got to keep his eye on. But also, you mentioned Chason, a guy who I think we're going to talk a ton about throughout this season. It's a pass rusher, which they didn't have last year. Only one game against the Miami game, torn ACL. To be back and have a premier guy like that, I'm going to keep my eye on 18.
4-man rush by LSU. The inside handoff is not enough. Ball's back to the original line of scrimmage and loose at the end of the play. And LSU has control. LaRoche is slow to get up after the hit. Chason made the hit and Delpit swarmed to the ball.
That's what I just said. Just keep an eye on a couple guys defensively. First of all, number 7, Grant Delpit, but number 18, Chason. I mean, golly.
What about him? I know. Let's do it. These winding roads that lead
This summer, add a new member to the family. Hurry into the Mercedes-Benz summer event today for exceptional offers. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
Hi. Most people know me for my award-winning comedy, but I also used to be a doctor.
It's just like most people know State Farm for home and auto insurance. We've also won 5 J.D. Power Awards in a row for life insurance.
I don't know how you got those in there, but I'm impressed.
Now what?
I don't know.
Life insurance you didn't expect from the company you know you can trust. State Farm.
Imagine giving your kid a healthy smile. Imagine helping their teeth become 4 times stronger while preventing cavities up to 40%. Act Kids Fluoride Rinse. Flavors so delicious, your kids will love to swish. Stop imagining. Start acting.
On an all-new season of Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
There's a storm coming.
Did you hear that? Someone's in the house.
All of our Dr. Pepper's gone.
Hey, you got the wrong fan!
Are you seeing another grill?
It's just a snack.
That's encroaching.
These turnovers are killing us!
Your husband's gone.
For the season? I'm transferring to tech.
Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville.
About time you showed up.
Now that we're banking with Chime, we get paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit, which means now we can do more of the things we love.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the gang's back together.
Start banking with Chime today at chime.com.
Play stopped here in LSU after a hard hit against Matt LaRoche, the running back for Georgia Southern, leveled by Calevon Chason, the LSU linebacker.
Yeah, and Calevon Chason, remember the play right before this, he's rushing off the edge. This time he drops in coverage, and he's able to redirect and come down and put a vicious hit on Matt LaRoche. Clean, legal hit, and LaRoche never saw him. So he pops out, and LSU, this is what they want to do, create turnovers. They felt like they didn't do that enough last year, but having Chason back on defense, Dave Aranda excited about the possibility of having his versatile rusher back on his starting defense.
LaRoche to the injury, 10 on the sideline. John Emery is in at running back for LSU. They fake the give to him, and the crossfield pass finds its way to the freshman rusher. Inside the 20 and out of bounds inside the 10. Electric to start.
You want to get your name into the paper here down in Baton Rouge. If you're a true freshman, that's pretty easy. You make a guy miss. You give him the old 1-2, and you keep going. John Emery showing off the moves.
And the strength as well as he lowers the shoulder down to about the 3-yard line of the carry right up the middle.
You mentioned it earlier, Mike. We're going to probably see all 5 running backs on this LSU roster. And right now, Emery getting his turn, making the most of his first couple early touches.
And Emery's the 4th to get a carry for LSU tonight. Number 1 running back in the ESPN 300 in this incoming freshman class. They flipped his commitment from the University of Georgia to LSU. Few more fierce recruiters in their passion to do it than Ed Orgeron. A 4-receiver look. The inside pass is an easy touchdown. It's another for Terrace Marshall.
This is just straight check with me. This is the RPO. You look out there, you like your numbers. Marshall just come down and watch 20. Kendall Vildor, the corner. He's looking to communicate. There's nobody there. And that's what this offense is all about for LSU. It's going fast, going fast. It forces the defense to have to communicate. But when it's going that fast and you're in Death Valley, it's going to be hard to hear right before the snap.
And this season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, Allstate will make a contribution to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you to Allstate.
Chasing ghosts. Chasing ghosts right now, Georgia Southern defensively. Man.
You got it! Push it!
Want to feel this motivated about managing your money?
savings. You got this. Yeah! Yeah! You earned it. Find that tiny little action figure. Yeah! Yeah, sir! Way to fatten that pig! Yeah!
With Regis Next Step, we give you the tools and guidance to help you and your money go further.
Yeah! Load that lunch, coach!
Yes, sir.
Yeah!
You knew the risks when you decided to drive drunk. There could be a crash. People could get hurt or killed. You could get arrested. But one thing's for sure, you were wrong when you said it was no big deal.
Who do you think of when I say hero? Is it someone in a cape or is it someone you know? In SEC country, being a hero means tutoring a struggling student, feeding hungry neighbors in your community, or showing up at a hospital to make a child's day a little brighter. Heroes are all around us, and Belk wants to celebrate them with what we're calling Project Hometown Heroes. We'll show you everyday heroes that are strengthening the communities around the SEC. Now, who do you think of when I say hero? Learn more at belk.com/Project Hometown.
I thought I'd lost my business in that fire, but my agent was there before the flames were out. He said, together, we're gonna rebuild. We've got 25 employees who depended on it, and that's all that mattered to me. My independent agent and auto owners made sure we didn't skip a beat. I mean, we didn't miss a single payroll. Incredible.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there. Auto Owners Insurance.
One Saturday, long ago, it began. The games were played on fields of green. One simple goal, make us proud. Proud that we could hang with the northern powers at first, but it quickly became pride in our school, pride in our state, and our sweet southern home. Pride is what built the SEC. It's what makes the stories worth telling.
Saturdays in the South, the history of SEC football. Part 1, Tuesday at 9 on SEC Network, presented by Regions Bank.
Back in Death Valley, 35-0 LSU just scored. They kick off. Mike Cousins, Kirk Morrison, and Edward Ashoff on the sidelines. What have you seen, Edward?
Well, they're definitely having a lot of fun down here on the LSU sideline. And as the receivers were walking over to their chairs to sit down and kind of relax for a little bit, quarterback Joe Burrow just kind of walked up slowly, looked over to his guys, started dapping folks up, and then looked right at Terrence Marshall and gave him a little bit of a wink, and they all laughed. So it looks like he's having a little bit of fun with his receivers tonight, guys.
Well, he told us yesterday that this is the offense that he's been playing since about 8th grade, to be able to take snaps out of the shotgun, to have a lot of latitude and freedom with not only where the ball's going to go, but where his receivers are going to go. Here's about a 10-yard run for Georgia Southern that has 12 total yards in the game coming into this drive. Their triple option attack. Last year, a 10-3 team coming in winners of 12 of their last 16, and Wirtz, the quarterback, their best player on offense, is down.
Yeah, that's not good. Him grabbing that right shoulder, that's the throwing shoulder. And we know their offense, Georgia Southern's, is really about Shai Wirtz.
Yes.
Last year, outstanding running the football, throwing the football, but now a possible wrench in their offense now as he gets hit by Chason at the end, right there on that shoulder. Chason just running to the football, just getting there and landing right on that right shoulder of Wirtz.
So we'll check on the status of the redshirt junior quarterback for Georgia Southern when we return.
Gear up for fall at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
True South Season 2 begins September 1 in New Orleans, as it should, at 2 Italian corner stores, now beloved corner restaurants. We see and hear and taste the city that Italian immigrants made. A city built on spaghetti and red gravy, veal parm po' boys, and muffalettas.
Welcome home. Thank you.
Look closely. This $50 Buffalo gold piece was the purest gold coin ever struck using .9999. That's 4 nines, pure 24-karat gold. The U.S. government had to stop production because of a shortage of specially made gold blanks. It's no wonder the price of that edition has gone through the roof. Now you can reserve your own copy clad in 14 milligrams of 24-karat gold. The final issue price was to be set at $50 per proof. But now this private, non-monetary 24-karat gold-clad masterpiece can be yours for only $9.95. With gold prices up almost 300% since 2003, price can only be guaranteed for 7 days. Each new 2019 $50 gold Buffalo Tribute proof is clad in 14 milligrams of 24-karat gold, is proof struck, and utilizes the famous Buffalo nickel design. Strict limit of 5 proofs per caller. You must hurry. Call now.
To order, call 1-800-613-9503. Strict limit of 5 proofs per caller.
Dory Noka in studio. We update Oregon-Auburn and a big start for the Ducks. Already up in this game. Justin Herbert rolls, stops, plants, and he finds Spencer Webb. It's 14-3. Bo Nix just threw a pick deep in Oregon territory, guys.
Shows just how tough it is to be the first true freshman to start a season opener at Auburn since 1946 at quarterback. 9:51 second quarter. LSU pedal to the floor so far. 35-0 over Georgia Southern as the backup quarterback Justin Tomlin comes into the game. The starter Shai Werts, after a hit from Kaylavon Chason, came off the field. He's getting tackled by Chason, who brought a lot of weight on top of his shoulder as he went to the ground.
Yeah, just unfortunate for Georgia Southern. So much of their offense is predicated on Shai Werts, but now you got to go straight to Justin Tomlin. And you know, the redshirt freshman is going to come in, and how do they manage this game? I mean, the offense was going to expand a little more with Werts coming back this season to be able to throw down the field a little bit more. But with Tomlin in, watch to see him try to get on the edges, get on the perimeter a little bit, try to put some stress on this LSU defense.
The Eagles have 22 yards total. They add to that on the run by Logan Wright, the redshirt sophomore from Jacksonville, Florida, who had about 300 yards on the ground last year. It's third down a lot more manageable than it has been a lot so far today. Werts is trying to get loose. It was the throwing shoulder that he fell on with a hit from Chason.
Yeah, watching that throw right there on the sideline. Barely can lift that shoulder up.
Tomlin, the redshirt freshman, makes the pitch. And it's a first down for Georgia Southern. J.D. King, the transfer from Oklahoma State, who just got his eligibility confirmed 12 days ago after the transfer, gets them the first down.
Well, just looking for opportunities, and that's what you want, to find an opportunity at Georgia Southern. But Dave Aranda, defensive coordinator at LSU, I remember 2 years ago being here watching this defense and Coach Aranda telling me, look, guys still are learning how to get lined up. And then last year, 2018, the defense better, but yet guys knew too much. And they were basically doing everything. So what's the version of 2019 of this defense? And right now, he feels that he's tried one of his better defenses that he's been a part of as a defensive coordinator.
Because you've got guys in a system who understand exactly what they're supposed to be doing, what he wants to do. It's the first time his defense allowed the other team to go across midfield today. But in 2.5 decades of coaching, this is the first time he's been at any stop for 4 seasons now.
So he's been able to implement his system and implement it with guys who've been through it. And he leans on the guys who've been here before to teach the younger players. That's why you're able to play so many true freshmen, especially at corner, safety, linebacker, and have a rotation at defensive line.
Inside give for King, who's wrapped up by Tyler Shelvin. There is a flag on the play.
You know, going back to Aranda again, he's also got new toys to work with. Like last year, it was Kaylavon Chason, who he was so excited about, and then he gets injured
Personal
in game
foul.
number 1.
Face mask. Defense number 72. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
And the penalty is on Shelvin, the nose tackle, and that's a deep position for them.
Yeah, very deep position, but Chason comes back. But then you look at the linebacker position. You talked earlier about Devin White and how are they going to not only fill the gap in which he was such the heart and soul of this defense. Remember Greedy Williams, though, the corner last year, got drafted this past season to the Cleveland Browns. This secondary is still stacked. Even though you got some younger players, this defensive front led by Shelvin and Lawrence are going to help out that back end tremendously.
And a one-high defensive look with the freshman Stingley as the safety. On first down with 2 backs, that's generally a sign for the LSU defense that it's going to be a run. Phillips is the man to make the tackle. That's one of the keys you have to look for here with your eyes in the backfield, is how many guys are back there with the quarterback gives you an indication of what kind of play it's going to be.
Well, Mike, you're bringing up old memories for me.
I hope good ones.
Old memories for me in my college days playing against Air Force. You know, when you play against the Air Force Academy, it was one of those games in which you knew that the ball was going to be all over the place, meaning that it can go left, it can go right, in the middle. But you always had to play discipline, and you really just had to play your job. You do your job, and that's where LSU defensively, everyone has been on point, and they continue to run the alley and make plays in the backfield.
With their starting quarterback, Shai Werts, on the sidelines, this has been one of their better drives today. The pass from Malik Murray off his fingertips falls incomplete to bring up 3rd and 10. The redshirt freshman Justin Tomlin, state player of the year in Georgia as a junior at Southwest DeKalb High School. And you got to be fast to play quarterback in this offense. He was a state champion in the 4x100 relay and gets significant action on a huge stage in week 1.
Well, you know, look, this is a situation where this is 2-down territory. All right, if you're Coach Lunsford, you're looking at this offensive play right here on 3rd down, and you're saying, hey, we just get half of it, because we're going to go for it on 4th down. So you're looking just a short, quick throw.
About 1 yard to the 30-yard line. They've also got a great kicker, too. Tyler Bass, the redshirt senior out of South Carolina, who last year was a first-team All-Sun Belt kicker. He hit 2 50-yarders and hit 10 from 40 or more. So here's the try for Bass from 47. Plenty of leg, and he gets Georgia Southern on the board. 35-3 gets a round of applause from head coach Chad Lunsford.
You get points on the board and a good drive by Georgia Southern, especially under the circumstances. Backup quarterback Tomlin comes in, leads a drive, and pushes one right through the uprights. It's a good drive. That's an excited coach there. Look, things might not have went your way early on. First quarter, all the way through the middle of the second quarter, but that's a positive drive and something to continue to build on for the rest of this game.
Kirk, let's take a look at the road to the championship, which LSU hopes to be on. It's brought to you by Mercedes-Benz here this evening in Death Valley. So your best chance to win the SEC, a good start for Alabama with the final score of that game, 42-3, and a 4-touchdown day from Tua. And Georgia in Nashville tonight, looking good early in that first half.
Well, we know one thing. The only way that LSU gets to play Georgia this year is only in the SEC championship game. So we know it's about Alabama come LSU. And that's a game November 9th, this time at Alabama.
So LSU is going to get it back. 5:13 in the first half, up by 32. And let's go back to Dari in the studio for an update.
Guys, thank you much. Regions Bank halftime report. Court right around the corner, Dare Doring and Chiswick. Auburn's slow start in Arlington. We'll show you what's happening in their game against Oregon. Alabama, no problem after a slow start of their own. No slow start for LSU.
No slow start, but a great defense. Fast, physical, and playing their assignments well.
Offense is awesome.
Easy enough, guys. See it happen.
All right, Darian, some other nail-biters around the SEC. Not the case for the number 6 team in the country, LSU. That's opened it up through the air here tonight. Incomplete after a back foot throw for Burrow. The pass intended for Justin Jefferson.
Well, that's one thing you don't want to see if you're LSU is your quarterback get hit on that last play. Joe Burrow. Watch the hit that he takes. You don't want this by your quarterback. Big hit being put on by Dylan Springer. Having a great game so far, but it's those types of hits you want to avoid for Joe Burrow.
Talked about 5 running backs. Number 5 in the game. But where's number 24 is Chris Curry. With a couple of big fellas in front of him. Out to the 30-yard line for a second down pickup of 5. Adrian McGee helping to lead the way. And at left tackle, Dare Rosenthal has now come in. Sadiq Charles, they said, would be able to play if necessary today. You're assuming that if necessary is out the window at this point. Badara Traore got the start at left tackle, so that's something to watch as the day and next week goes along for LSU.
Being able to change the play at the line of scrimmage. They motion Curry out. Now empty formation. What is the advantage for Joe Burrow?
He's got all sorts of time. And he just needed to find the window, and it closed quicker than expected. Incomplete on 3rd and 5. Good coverage from the safety, Kendrick Duncan.
You mentioned the time that he had. One of those times you got to say, good job by the defense.
Yes.
Georgia Southern defensively had everyone covered. Here Joe Burrow trying to force one in, just throw it away. Probably a pass in which he's trying to do a little bit too much. It wasn't intercepted, but don't even throw it into harm's way. Throw that ball out of bounds and move on. But a great job by the defense of Georgia Southern.
Zach Von Rosenberg, LSU's punter, wasn't sure if he was going to see the field. There was 5 drives, 5 touchdowns. He knocks that one inside the 20. Great kick there from the Louisiana native. Monday, 7 Eastern, 6 Central. Thinking Out Loud, presented by Regions Bank, is back for another season with Greg McElroy, Marcus Spears, and Alyssa Lang. They'll talk football and want your participation via social media throughout the show. It's all right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app.
Yeah, I think if I'm a Tennessee fan, I'm probably not going to watch that show on Monday. Maybe I might watch it, but just understand it's going to be a tough one to watch after Georgia State beat Tennessee today.
You've got a captive audience here with a great rivalry between Southern and State. Tennessee lost to Georgia State earlier today, a 2-10 team a year ago. The worst loss by an SEC team favored by 25 or more points in the last 40 years.
Wow. That's going to be an interesting show on Monday. I'll be tuning in, watching our couple of our buddies. As the first weekend of college football just kind of gets underway, Mike, it's one of those things in which some teams who you expected to play well did not play well, and there are some teams that you didn't say, how are they going to have played well?
Penalty flag down. Here comes the call.
It's week 1 for everybody, Mike. It's week 1 for everybody, Mike.
During the kick, personal foul, blindside block on the kicking team, number 48. It's a 15-yard penalty will be added to the dead ball spot. First down.
Injury update from Georgia Southern. 2 players that left the game. Matt LaRoche, the running back, a stinger for him. Shai Wirtz, the quarterback, listed as a strain for him. Both are cleared to return, and there's Wirtz, the redshirt junior, back in the huddle at quarterback.
Yeah, that's the toughness of Wirtz coming back into this game.
Interesting call on that penalty. You know, blindside blocks are no longer allowed in college football. So especially when you watch punt returns, kickoff returns, you got to watch out now. We've seen some earlier displays of guys not blocking, but kind of doing what I call a hip buy, just getting their hip in the way. The big emphasis in college football this year on taking away the blindside blocks.
Well, Kirk, this has been the best look so far for the Eagles, is getting the ball to the outside, making the defense choose. J.D. King took the pitch there. Jacoby Stevens wrangles him to the Bermuda grass.
You're just watching how disciplined this defense is for LSU. And if I'm Texas, I'm trying to figure out where's the weakness right now in the LSU defense. I know it's a week away, but you know, if you're Texas, you're going to have to find a way to find where's the weak link in this defense, because so far what I'm seeing, Mike, is a defense has been relentless and tough throughout this first half.
The Longhorns busy themselves tonight against Louisiana Tech. Wirtz goes right into traffic and gets caught by Siaki Ika, one of the nose tackles, the freshman from Salt Lake City, 6'4", 354.
Yeah, but a nimble 354. When I say nimble, you watch
it's all relative.
Yeah, it's all relative when you're able to run up and down the sideline, but it's a heavy rotation along that defensive front, and now you get into third down. They're going to rush three.
It's Tomlin at quarterback, the redshirt freshman. He throws across the middle. Nowhere to go. Jacoby Stevens is all over it. The junior safety sniffs it out. There's just no breathing room against this defense.
No, there's none. And you're trying to figure out which guy on this defense to say, man, I want to attack this guy. But Stevens has been outstanding so far, the junior safety. And then you look over and see number 7, Grant Delpit. He's another guy that, when you look at this secondary, well coached by Aranda, but at the same time, you got to just look at the toughness that they display every play. It's always 11 guys in that final picture, 11 guys to the play. And that's what you want to continue to keep doing play after play.
Guys, you're not going to believe this. You have to come with me right now and see what they're doing. This is so much fun. Ah, okay. Whoa. Can I be part of this? No? Yeah? Oh. Nope. They don't want me. I don't blame them. I'm no good at this, but they're awesome. So cool.
I could never do that, by the way. That's why I play football. I just, the soccer thing
You
for me.
played 8 years in the NFL. I don't think anybody's worried about your soccer ability.
Yeah, that's just not for me.
Stingley calls for the fair catch, and he's got it at just about the 20. Mike Cousins, along with Kirk Morrison, standout at San Diego State, played with the Oakland Raiders, Jacksonville Jaguars, Buffalo Bills. Edward Ashoff on the sidelines tonight as LSU opens up its season here against Georgia Southern, 35-3. This is the 7th drive of the night for LSU. 5 drives to start. All 5 were touchdowns. They punted their last time, and Joe Burrow takes over. 2-minute drill opportunity here.
Oh, you hit it right on the head, Mike. That's how you don't get these opportunities, especially live during fall camp. So this is another opportunity for LSU offensively to run the 2-minute drill.
And Burrow has not been shy about just finding the check down either.
Yeah, he has been what we call check down Charlie. When it's not there, when it's not, you look down the field, you scan. If it's not there, he's done a terrific job of dumping the ball down. And it's okay to take the 3 to 4 yards. It sets up the bigger play later on.
An ankle tackle's not enough to bring down Jefferson. First down for the Tigers.
Let's always remember, in college football, there is no preseason. They don't have preseason games here. So when you get an opportunity, especially in week 1, I know that you're up big, but you still got to find a way to get work done. And this is an opportunity for LSU to run the 2-minute offense and get this on tape.
Burrow takes a shot, and he's got Thaddeus Moss, the tight end, down to the 20-yard line.
just to see that number, 81. Played with his dad, but that number 81. Thaddeus Moss, father Randy Moss, the Hall of Famer. See that 81 when he was in New England. It's almost surreal to see his son now making a big play.
Snap infraction. Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
So snap infraction against LSU, 1st and 15. Going fast isn't always easy. It was a 44-yard connection to Moss to get them down here inside the 30. Georgia Southern for the day, 44 total yards. Edwards-Helaire underneath. And he is right at the sticks.
Man, they are feasting underneath. The running backs, you have to be able to catch the football now in this LSU offense. Before it was about run, run, run. But watching these running backs catch the ball out of the backfield, another weapon for Joe Burrow.
Burrow not pressured much today. He goes to the end zone. He's got another touchdown. Terrace Marshall finds pay dirt for the 3rd time from the redshirt senior quarterback. 41-3.
Well, if you want to learn how to run the 2-minute drill, LSU just showed you. It was clinic tape. Clinic tape of how to drive. They got the underneath passes. We talked about it earlier. It was the check down, the big play to Moss, and then find your 6'4", 200-pound wide receiver in the middle of the end zone. Yeah, Joe Burrow, pump that fist. It's a new offense at LSU.
Kirk, they went so fast, they turned the 2-minute drill into a 1-minute drill. Still left a minute on the clock.
They're putting the SEC on notice right now, Mike. They really are. 5 touchdowns, a career high for Joe Burrow. And I think there's still some meat left on that bone. Seriously, they are moving fast.
Saturdays in the South, a history of SEC football. Part 1 comes your way Tuesday, 9 Eastern, 8 Central. Here on the SEC Network, an 8-part event. One of my favorite parts of telling people about what happens at ESPN is the storytelling that goes on with the SEC Network, ESPN, the ACC Network. Phenomenal.
On fire has been Joe Burrow. First, it started with the play action, throwing to a spot and getting to the spot. It's just one thing that Joe Burrow has thrown, the touch. No one saw the touch that he had, and you're starting to see he can make all of the throws. And when you have the athletes that he has on this offense, it makes it so much easier. And Joe Burrow pumped that fist, an excited quarterback. It's like he's got all these new weapons. It's a new toy, right? It's Christmas here in August for Joe Burrow.
He came in last year and he said at the beginning he knew how good the defense was.
Right.
He was playing more, and this was his words, quote, not losing football rather than winning football. And his attitude with a year under his belt last year came in just a little bit before camp and is able to have a real firm grasp on what's going on. Coming up at the half, you can watch the live performance of the Golden Band from Tigerland on the SEC Network Plus, and it'll be streaming on the ESPN app as well.
Kind of going back to the Joe Burrow point you made earlier, just didn't expect this from this offense at all. Just was not expecting how high powered this offense is. And
well, hold on. I think we expected to see them play this way. Are you saying you didn't expect it to be 42 points at the half?
Exactly. The success.
And they're not messing around.
They're not messing around. Coach O called another timeout, hopefully trying to get another opportunity for his offense to get out there. That kind of tells me if I'm playing head coach, I'm putting myself in Coach Orgeron's shoes. The one thing that I'm thinking is that I'm going to try to call timeouts, get the ball back, because I think after half, we probably won't see Joe Burrow. I think he's done enough work, 5 touchdown passes already in the first half. I think I'm pretty much consider my quarterback we start to look for next week, because what a job he's done so far. And now defensively, finding ways to get off the field. You talk about a good half of work.
by this LSU team, not just offensively, defensively as well.
I think it'd make sense if we didn't see Burrow on the field in the second half. Maybe see a little bit of Miles Brennan. So Shai Werts, according to Georgia Southern, is out for the rest of this game. And so we'll see Justin Tomlin at quarterback as Werts is going to go in for x-rays. He did come back in the game after taking a hit from Kaylavon Chason, who fell on top of him, jamming his right shoulder, his throwing shoulder, into the ground, and looked very uncomfortable before he did return to the game, throwing on the sideline.
Yeah, he did. And he took another hit when he came back into the game. He actually pitched the ball, but at this point, look, he's your most important player if you're Georgia Southern. If he's not 100%, you need him the rest of the season. Probably best to sit him the rest of this game.
The red shirt freshman Tomlin hands it off, and immediately it's Damone Clark into the backfield to say no more. Well, if there were questions about what this offense would look like, inquire no more. First 5 drives were touchdowns for LSU. Joe Burrow's first half, 20 of 24, 253 yards through the air and 5 passing touchdowns.
If you want to script the first half, you couldn't have scripted any better if you're LSU offensively and defensively. Joe Burrow outstanding, like you mentioned, and defensively suffocating.
Edwards with Coach O.
Coach, 253 yards passing for Joe Burrow, 5 touchdowns, 42 points for that offense. How would you assess how they played?
Precision, just like they've been practicing. Great job by Steve Isming and Joe Brady. Outstanding job by offense. I'm proud of them. But we have 60 minutes to go. A 60-minute football game here.
As far as Joe is concerned, how long do you think you'll keep him in the second half?
I think you'll see Miles. I mean, Miles may start the second half. We're going to discuss it right now. It's Miles' turn. You may see him to start the second half.
Thank you, Coach.
Go Tigers.
Well, if it's just two quarters for Joe Burrow, they were 2 pretty good ones. 42-3 at the half in Baton Rouge. Let's head to the studio. Dari Noka, Chris Doring, and Gene Chizik.
All right, Mike and company, thank you very much. It's time for the Regions Bank Halftime Report. You introduced us. I will not waste any more time doing that. 5 touchdown passes, 4 incompletions. It's been efficient, to say the least, for Joe Burrow and LSU.
It is exactly what it was pitched to us as being, right? Joe Brady coming in and changing this offense up. We were a little hesitant to believe it, but the pace and the way they've used the RPOs and the way they've used the entire field to stretch that defense out, they're putting a lot of pressure on Georgia Southern right now. It was exactly what Coach O said, precision.
RPOs, tempo. The O-line is road grading Georgia Southern. The receivers are catching the ball. This is an all-around great performance. And let's not forget about the defense that's only given up about 50 yards.
You're right. Absolutely. Dominant performance for LSU. Maybe Burrow's night is over. Probably be the play that you all would make as well. All right. Here's what else is going on. Big-time game right now in Arlington, Texas. It is Auburn. It is Oregon. Gus Malzahn and company, of course, got to deal with Justin Herbert, the future NFL first-round draft pick. Herbert, well, this guy's the guy, really. C.J. Verdell just absolutely running wild on Auburn. Touchdown there, and then Herbert rolls. And he finds Spencer Webb with a touchdown pass, 14-3 Ducks.
That's an unbelievable arm. You're scrambling on the run. You come and throw it back across the field on a rope. Unbelievable.
Helps to have a 6'6" wide receiver out there as well.
On a 5'10" DB.
And then the true freshman Bo Nix throws the interception there, 14-3, and Oregon trying to score again, but then just a little bit later, Big Cat Bryant picks up the fumble. Could you imagine if Booger was here? Right? Big man, touchdown. Get the paper. Hit your head on the goalpost. He needed to hit it on the goalpost. He gets caught and dragged down at the 2. Auburn ends up with a field goal out of a first-and-goal situation.
That score right there, 14-6. Auburn should be very lucky. Yeah. It could be 28-0 if not for the drop touchdown pass by Brian Addison there in the back of the end zone that led to a missed field goal, and then going in for potentially another score to drop the exchange without any sort of pressure from Auburn. They're very, very lucky right now that it's even a one-possession game.
Well, they're getting outplayed in all 3 phases. I mean, Oregon looks faster. They're running the football. Remember, you got young linebackers at Auburn. They're misfitting the run.
Yeah.
They're making Verdell look like an all-star. Special teams, we had a breakdown on a long punt return. They're just getting outplayed.
When was the last time we said that about an SEC team being the slower team on the field? Oregon is just going up and down the field in terms of their speed, their pace of play, but they also look like what Auburn does offensively, the misdirection, all of the different things that are keeping that Auburn defense off balance.
We saw a busted coverage early by the secondary, right, which is strange because you got 4 returning starters back there. You have these receivers that no one's really heard about. They only got 5 scholarship receivers. So right now, Auburn's going to have to pick this up.
You mentioned the Addison drop. We didn't show that to you, but he was open in the end zone. And then Oregon missed a 19-yard field goal after that. So that could have been points. Instead, it results in nothing, but Auburn is just a possession away from a tie football game. How about Georgia? Their opener at Vanderbilt in a sea of red in Nashville. 7-zip, James Cook around the edge and into the end zone. 18 yards, it's 14-zip.
You know Georgia's always going to have tailbacks, right? So we've been hearing about DeAndre Swift. And all of a sudden, you have James Cook in the spotlight.
And then Fromm throws Lawrence Cager. You're going to get used to new names. You're going to have to because they lost their top 5 pass catchers.
Yeah, nice to see Demetrius Robertson as well early with a touchdown in this one. So, as you said, we're getting introduced to some new Georgia wide receivers.
And then Brian Harrion into the end zone. Yes, he has been there 19 seasons. He scores from a yard out. It's 14, not 14-0. It's actually 21-3. We can update that score as they are late in the second quarter. So Georgia dominant right now in Nashville. We've seen it offensively. We've seen it defensively. Not a lot of questions surrounding this team, or do you? It's hard to tell right now, I guess, but the more we see these names on the outside, I guess the more comfortable we'll start to feel.
Well, it's not surprising to me. I mean, these young receivers, Lawrence Cager was a transfer from Miami. Demetrius Robertson, we were talking about when is he going to come on the scene. He's done that today on some jet sweeps. They found a jet sweep guy. But he's at this point, Fromm's hit 7 or 8 different receivers. They look really efficient, and you know they're going to be able to run the ball with that O-line.
Let's credit James Coley, too, the new offensive coordinator.
Yes.
He's doing a nice job of keeping Vanderbilt's defense off balance. You missing the jet sweeps. They're using the wide receiver screens and some of that power run game that we're used to from Georgia.
The question going in, who starts at quarterback for Vandy? It is the Ball State transfer, Riley Neal. By the way, 11 of 13, but just 63 yards through the air. Elsewhere, earlier in the day, Kentucky coming off that great 10-win season. Best season in some 40 years as they welcomed Toledo. They'd beaten the MAC team, 10 straight MAC opponents. A.J. Rose, first game as the primary back after the departure of Benny Snell, 64 yards on the ground for him. Terry Wilson to Bryce Oliver. First career catch for Oliver goes for a touchdown.
Yeah, that was a great catch by Bryce Oliver. But you know what? Terry Wilson kept throwing the ball vertically down the field, and some of the receivers made him look really good today.
And then Courvoisier smoke into the end zone. Cats do get the win, 38-24. Wilson 2 touchdowns and no interceptions on the day. Meanwhile, the Golden Band from Tigerland is over on SEC Network Plus, but there's a ton more for us to update you on from the day in the SEC. Kelly Bryant's debut is underway out west. In the meantime, it's all LSU. 42-3, 5 touchdown passes for Joe Burrow.
This halftime report is presented by Regions Bank, proud to be the official bank of the SEC.
Ready to break through allergy congestion? Reach for the dual action of Allegra D. The fastest non-drowsy antihistamine plus a powerful decongestant help you overcome tough symptoms for 24-hour relief. Get back to the moment with Allegra D.
On an all-new season of Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
Welcome to Fansville's 150th anniversary tailgate! Go State! He said State!
Somebody get him a Dr. Pepper.
Stat! We got fans coming in from Van Arbor, East Fencing, Kansas City, Kansas.
There's a new grill master in town.
Go State!
Mom, Dad. Lacrosse?
It's the fastest growing sport in America.
Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville.
It's gonna be a big year.
Selling on Poshmark is crazy simple. All you have to do is post a picture, add a description, add a price, and you're pretty much good to go. Right now I'm selling Air Jordans and Nikes and Adidas, anything really performance related or style related.
Download the free Poshmark app now.
This huddle never breaks.
In the SEC, we fight like cats and dogs, because that's what families do. But after the whistle, born rivals become sworn allies. The hype and the hope bind us, even as they find us. Banging that drum, chomping that chomp, dropping that anchor, until we bring it in to the huddle that never breaks.
You're watching the Regions Bank Halftime Report.
Welcome back. Doring Chiswick, South Carolina, North Carolina. Mac Brown's return to head coaching. He had been out since 2013. First game coaching the Heels in 22 years. Will Muschamp's team was up 20-9, but then trailed by 4. Jake Bentley's second interception, both in the final 3 minutes of the game.
Both in critical parts of the field as well right there. That was the storyline last year, right? Jake Bentley getting down around the red zone, throwing too many interceptions in that part of the field.
Bad clock management by the Heels led to another chance for South Carolina, but Bentley sacked as time expires, and North Carolina, 2-10 a year ago, beats South Carolina in Charlotte to start the season. Wow. Kelly Bryant's first game as Missouri quarterback. They're on the road at Wyoming. Kelly Bryant eluding pressure. Steps up and the little touchdown toss to Jonathan Nance, the Arkansas transfer.
Well, he was 8 for 10 starting out the game. He started out very strong.
Larry Roundtree then plunges in. Feel good, Mizzou. It's all you. It's at 14-zip in Laramie. Now 14-3. Kelly Bryant hit. Oh, he coughs it up. C.J. Colden scoops it and scores for the Cowboys, and it's 14-10.
That was a big change in momentum because, as you said, it looked like Missouri was in full control. All of a sudden, Missouri on the bottom side of the score there, 24-17.
That's right. Xavier Valladay scores from 61. Then Wyoming added another one to take the lead, but Missouri is threatening. We'll keep you posted right now. Down a touchdown. Memphis hosting Ole Miss. Memphis, two-time defending Western Division champs of the American. It's a good football team picked to win it again. Matt Corral's debut as a starting quarterback down inside the 5. 2 plays later, Scotty Phillips touchdown. Ole Miss, I should say, down a field goal. They got to go the length of the field, though. Final 6.5 minutes. Corral takes a sack in the end zone. Memphis safety, 15-10 Tigers over the Rebels, who have lost 6 in a row. If you want to go back to last season, they may not. Mississippi State and Louisiana. Tommy Stevens' debut as the starting quarterback for Mississippi State. 31 yards to Osiris Mitchell. What did you see from Tommy Stevens?
I saw a guy that felt comfortable in the offense, did a nice job throwing the ball, and also brought that added dimension of being able to run. This is going to be a difficult defense to defend as Tommy Stevens continues to get more comfortable throwing the football with that group of receivers.
First time in SEC Network history, we show you a backup kicker making a field goal. Jordan Wallace, because the starter, Jade Chrisman, was suspended.
When was the last time you heard of a kicker being suspended?
It's a good question. I'll think of it before the late show. Alabama Duke. Slow start for Bama. It took them until the second quarter for Tua Tagovailoa to find Miller Forrestall for the touchdown, but Tua took off from that point on. Went on to throw 4 total touchdowns. How about Jerry Jeudy? 10 catches, 137 yards, and a lot of speed.
We have seen that before from Jerry Jeudy, have we not? Incredible.
Yeah. 83 straight wins over unranked teams. That's an FBS record they extended for Alabama. Didn't see Tua in the fourth quarter. We got used to that 8 times last year. We didn't see him in the fourth quarter. The first 8 games, slow start. They took off. Ultimately, what's your takeaway from Alabama?
I think people just have to get used to the fact that this offense, maybe not put up 40 points before the half and you yank the guy every time in the third quarter. Plus, Tua has to get ready for the new play caller, the way they're going to play everything. But at the end of the day, Tua lit it up. I mean, he was great, completed 80% of his passes. Yeah. And the receivers were really good today, too. So good first showing.
Numbers look very similar to last year. They got to that way in different manners with this new offense Steve Sarkisian's running. But I thought the defense, that was all the talk this week. No Dylan Moses, having 2 true freshman linebackers. Those 2 guys finished actually tied for second in tackles on the day. I know it wasn't the most threatening offense with a new quarterback for Duke, but I thought that defense played really, really well.
Yeah, update a couple of things real quick. Missouri 3rd and goal, down 7 against Wyoming. 15 seconds left in the first half, and Bo Nix just threw another interception for Auburn, who trails Oregon 14-6 in Arlington. Meanwhile, no drama here. 5 touchdown passes for Joe Burrow. That ties a school record as they lead at 42-3.
On an all-new season of Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
There's a storm coming.
Did you hear that? Someone's in the house.
All of our Dr. Pepper's gone.
You got the wrong fan.
Are you seeing another grill?
It's just a snack.
That's it, Crow.
These turnovers are killing us.
Your husband's gone.
For the season? I'm transferring to Tech.
Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville. About time you showed up.
You got it. Push it.
Want to feel this motivated about managing your money?
Whoa, savings. You got this. Yeah. Yeah, you earned it. Find that tiny little action figure. Yeah. Yeah, sir. Way to flatten that pig. Yeah.
With Regis Next Step, we give you the tools and guidance to help you and your money go further.
Yeah, load that lunch, coach.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
LSU has a vision for tomorrow, one that shows what fierce can do. Out of love for our neighbors and pride in our state, we give all we have, because ours is a spirit without equal, unyielding, unstoppable, making our big world a much better place. LSU, fierce minds, fierce hearts, fierce for the future.
Now to the ugly portion of the show. Tennessee, home for Georgia State, who's never beaten a Power 5 team. Look at Peyton Manning and Ryan Leaf, who was on the call. Remember the old 97 season and
98 draft.
98 draft, you better believe it. Ty Chandler, 31-yard touchdown run. Tennessee up 14-7, but down 5. And then Dan Ellington buries the balls. 22-yard touchdown run. Georgia State, who won 2 games a year ago and faces Furman next week, gets the win on Rocky Top. Arkansas, Chad Moore's second season underway with FCS Portland State, Raheem Boyd. He's a good one. You got to be able to run the ball to do what he really wants to do offensively, right?
Have to. I mean, everything in this offense is predicated about being able to run the ball first.
20-13. You know, Arkansas offense didn't do much. And Ben Hicks struggled, and Nick Starkel didn't look much better, but the defense played well, didn't it?
Defense played really, really well. Flew around, penetrating, caused some negative plays, created some turnovers. So I thought that was the one bright spot for Arkansas on the day.
Plenty for our guys McElroy and Spears to talk about on Monday. Thinking out loud, anything goes. Football conversation after a weekend that to this point may not be how the SEC would have drawn it up. G-Money, get ready, you and Spears. Meanwhile, True South starting season number 2 on Sunday.
True South Season 2 begins September 1 in New Orleans, as it should, at 2 Italian corner stores, now beloved corner restaurants. We see and hear and taste the city that Italian immigrants made. A city built on spaghetti and red gravy, veal parm po' boys, and muffalettas.
Welcome home. Thank you.
Catch that one on Sunday. All right, Joe Burrow, is his night done? Maybe. Perhaps a little Miles Brennan time after a 5-touchdown first half. Second half's next.
This halftime report is presented by Regions Bank, proud to be the official bank of the SEC.
Imagine having whiter teeth in just 4 days. Imagine strengthening enamel while safely removing stains every day. Act Whitening Mouthwash. For a brighter, whiter smile, stop imagining. Start acting.
Support your favorite college at Fanatics.com. The largest assortment of officially licensed fan gear from more than 500 colleges. Every conference, every team. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
Launch your career. Make a connection. Discover another family at Georgia Southern University. With 141 distinguished degree programs and a tuition lower than you might think, we are a unique combination of Southern charm and uncompromising academics. Find your place to think, serve, lead. Come grow with Georgia Southern University.
Everyone loves the benefits of compression socks, but they're just so hard to get on. Until now, introducing the all-new Copperfit Energy Socks, the first ever easy-on, easy-off fit to help reduce swelling, relieve tired, achy muscles, and provide energizing support.
Being a SWAT commander, we train to win. The Copperfit Energy Socks, they didn't feel like other compression socks. They totally exceeded my expectations.
Copper-infused fabric woven into our compression sock to help reduce swelling discomfort.
They just slip right on, yet they still have that same compression that you want.
Extra support around the arch and ankle for relief of muscle aches and pains.
These were fantastic. A lot of compression socks are a little too thin. I could wear these every day.
Feel more energized. Get your energy socks now online at getenergysocks.com or call 1-800-368-5141. Order now and get a second pair free.
I have so much energy, I can go, hey, you want a dad?
Copperfit Energy Socks.
It's all LSU on opening night. 42-3 over Georgia Southern at the half here in Baton Rouge. We welcome you back up to our booth. Mike Cousins, Kirk Morrison, glad to have you along with us. Joe Burrow, the quarterback, has made the stat sheet look very good so far. He's lit it up exactly what they wanted.
Look, it's been the Joe Burrow show, and look, we expected the offense to be good, but wow, that first half was great. Two plays of 40-plus yards, but you think about the 5 touchdown passes by Joe Burrow. We knew this was going to be a passing game that was going to be opened up. I didn't expect 5 touchdown passes by Joe Burrow. Outstanding offensive play by LSU.
And just one punt in the first half for this new look offense for the Tigers, who hold the formidable lead. And news out of both locker rooms from Edward Ashoff down on the sideline.
Yeah, my coach Lunsford told me coming out of the break that, hey, look, he told his team the next 30 minutes are about us as a family. We got to do and play our game, do our jobs. He doesn't want to see any more pre-snap penalties. He got at the defense for a lot of missed tackles. He also said to me, look, Justin Tomlin's fine. He's been in this position before. He's ready for it at this level. He's not concerned about him. And as far as LSU coming out there bouncing around, guys are saying 30 minutes, that's all we got to do. I saw Joe Burrow wink at a couple guys. They are relaxed as possible going in the second half.
As you'd expect them to be with the lead as it is.
I'm surprised we don't see Joe Burrow with a ball cap on at this point. I mean, his work's been done. That first half is something that most quarterbacks dream of for an entire game.
Ed Ogeron, the head coach for LSU, told Edward going into halftime, may see him in the second half. If not, Miles Brennan, who played against Rice just one game last year, the sophomore, will be ready to go. A couple of yards on first down for Logan Wright, the redshirt sophomore out of Jacksonville, Florida. The streak of 13 out of their last 16 for the Eagles with a 100-yard rusher in danger going into this third quarter, as they've got just 59 yards total.
You look at the second half, it's really about establishing who you are for the 2019 season, still establishing the identity. It's going to be a little difficult now with Shai Werts probably not going to return in this football game.
Werts, the starting quarterback, redshirt junior, went down on a hit from Calevon Chason. Tyler Shelvin brings his backup Tomlin to the ground there. And so he went for x-rays, ruled out for the rest of this game. But Georgia Southern told us last night at the team hotel, it's going to take them 4 games to figure out exactly what they have on offense this year because of what their schedule looks like to begin the season, most notably opening with the number 6 team in the country. They've got Maine, a great team. Then they go to Minnesota, and they face Louisiana in week 4. They'll need at least 9 here. They've only passed for 12 yards so far and get 0 on the incomplete pass intended for Colby Ransom.
always difficult when you get to those down and distances. But there on the coverage, number 24, Derek Stingley, the true freshman cornerback. He's going to get a lot of work over the next couple weeks, especially throughout the beginning of the season. The only reason why is because he's a true freshman. On the other side, we haven't really mentioned his name because no one's been after him. But Christian Fulton, number 1, on the other side. 2 outstanding corners. But Stingley also the punt returner. Already 2 good punt returns so far.
2 returns of at least 20 yards. Nothing here as he catches inside the 35-yard line. So back to it for LSU. And here comes Joe Burrow back out onto the field. Only the 5th starting quarterback for LSU to start back-to-back openers in the last 22 years. So much more confident coming back for his 2nd year. Working on a master's program, takes all of his classes online. And so his life revolves around what happens in his apartment, the football facility, and here inside this stadium. He gives it up on first down for Edwards-Helaire. Saw all 5 running backs on the field in the first half for LSU. Edwards-Helaire is the clear number 1. And after that, I think one of the question marks for this team, among the few there are about the offense, after the first half, will be how the carries are divided beyond number 1. Extra effort gets him to the 45.
You got to understand that Helaire is your returning back that has the most experience. And what it's going to come down to, it's which back is able to pass protect. That's what it's going to come down to. When you get games in which you're late in the game and you're trying to drive down for a score to end the game or win the game, it's who's going to be able to pass protect.
Burrow unleashes a spiral for Justin Jefferson. He was the top target last year, and that was by design because their offensive line was banged up. They had to keep a lot of guys in to block. Jefferson last year was targeted 91 times, 48 more than the 2nd most guy, Stephon Sullivan. This year, though, the opportunity to spread it out. On the retreat, and the check down gets him nothing.
You know, talking about Justin Jefferson, the thing was last year he was the most experienced sort of wide receiver in terms of the offense, meaning he can line up at X, he can line up at Y, he can line up at Z, he can line up anywhere on the offense. I think it's a little bit different now when you look at the experience they've got now coming back in 2019. We've seen Terrace Marshall already with 3 touchdowns early in this game, and now you just add another element to another weapon for defense to have to cover.
With an empty backfield, it's to Marshall with 3 first-half touchdowns for the sophomore wideout, who last year had just 12 catches total. But says he's finally healthy this year after a leg injury he suffered in high school. So a sustained drive for the Tigers meets resistance on 3rd down. They don't get the first. And immediately the punt team is on. It'll be Cade York, the freshman out of McKinney, Texas, who's replacing Cole Tracy, who became a folk hero last year after an early season walk-off game winner against Auburn. And York's got a huge leg. This is from 39. Sharp and true for the freshman York. 45-3 LSU, 3rd quarter.
I saved hundreds when I switched my car insurance to Geico. This is how it made me feel. It was like that feeling when you pull your green sock out of the dryer, and then the very next sock is the other green one. And then you pull out 2 blue ones. And you keep going till you've matched every single sock in perfect order. And the owner of the laundromat is so impressed, he hangs a picture of you next to the dryer.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Yes, it's the first word of any new discovery. But when allergies attack, the excitement fades. Allegra helps you say yes with the fastest non-drowsy allergy relief and turn any half-hearted yes into an all-in yes. Allegra, live your life, not your allergies.
My name is Mo Hassan, and my nonprofit Second Spoon. We're taking surplus foods and we're distributing them to the homeless in different communities. When I first got to college, I saw firsthand in the cafeterias just how much food was wasted. We need to find a way to repurpose these foods. Just seeing firsthand the homeless people's faces when we bring them food and positively affect them in that way is amazing. I just know it's more than football, and we have a platform, and I think we owe it to the community to use that platform for good.
Learn more at belk.com/Project Hometown.
Hey, man. Yeah. Would you rather face a furious SEC defensive line or poison ivy?
Well, what kind of coverage are we talking about?
Like defensive coverage?
No, like body percentage, because calamine lotion's gross.
I don't know, 40%?
I would like to hear option 3.
Is no option 3.
Well, what if I could give the SEC defensive line a case of poison ivy?
Did you know that the French Quarter used to be called Little Palermo? Travel back in time to New Orleans on True South.
We discovered some good sushi last night here in Baton Rouge. There's great food all over the SEC. A lot of fun to be had for the Tiger fans tonight and the team as well. Up 45-3 over Georgia Southern here in the season opener in Baton Rouge. Mike Cousins along with Kirk Morrison, Edward Ashoff on the sidelines tonight in what has been a massive display from the LSU new look offense. I almost feel bad that we're ignoring the defense with how good they've been. But this has been a standout performance from an SEC team tonight, where some other games were closer than expected. And a game that was closer than expected probably for Les Miles, the former LSU head coach, and his debut was a come-from-behind win for the Jayhawks against Indiana State. Tennessee becomes the first SEC team to lose to a Sun Belt school since
2017.
LSU versus Troy, correct. And Justin Fields, 5 total touchdowns to get things going for the Buckeyes.
Wow, Tennessee, that's a tough one. Definitely a tough one. Jeremy Pruitt off to a rough start, year 2.
Unleashing a long pass down the sideline. It's nearly taken away on the throw by Tomlin, with Christian Fulton tracking it down there, an AP preseason All-American at cornerback for LSU.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned his name much because Georgia Southern hasn't thrown the ball much, but he's a lockdown corner on that side. And last year, I thought that he was overshadowed at times by the play of Greedy Williams, who went on to the National Football League. But I think Fulton may have more upside because he can play inside, he can play outside. An outstanding corner with great versatility, especially in this defense.
Second and 10. That was only their 8th pass attempt of the game. They averaged 9 a season ago. A couple yards, and we go down to Edward.
Yeah, guys, Caleb Chasen having a big comeback game for him. Remember, he missed most of last season after having an ACL injury in week 1 against Miami. And I asked him, what was the toughest part of being out and trying to get back? And he said it wasn't the beginning, it wasn't the middle, it was the end when he felt like he was 100% in spring and the trainers just kept holding him back and said, we don't need to push it, we don't need to push it. He was going in at 6:45 a.m. every day for workouts. Or for rehab. He'd come back at noon for rehab. He'd go back at 7 p.m. for rehab. This is a guy who has totally changed his perspective on football and got himself, he thinks, into better shape, although Coach O says he's still not in football shape yet. Here's a fun fact for you. He started sprinting and cutting at 2 months after he tore his ACL. He spent all of last season dissecting offenses and offensive coordinators in his room when he wasn't healthy. He felt like he was on the team getting ready to play every week.
Well, I'll tell you this, when he walked in the room yesterday, he is a well-built young man. And trust me, he had the great honor of being honored the number 18, by the way. We know it's a legendary number here at LSU. He and Lloyd Cushenberry, the center, both given the number 18. That's given to him by not only the coaching staff, but his teammates as well. An outstanding honor for Chason, who's so far today been all over the field.
And Cushenberry, the center, of course.
The first offensive lineman ever in LSU.
Can't wear the number 18, but he does get a patch in honor of that number.
Gear up for fall at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
How do you gauge the greatness of an SUV? Is it to carry cargo or to carry on a legacy? Its show of strength or its sign of intelligence? In crossing harsh terrain or breaking new ground? This is the Mercedes-Benz SUV family. This is the time to get an exceptional offer on the Mercedes of your midsummer dreams at the Mercedes-Benz Summer Event, going on now. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
You got it, push it!
Want to feel this motivated about managing your money?
Whoa, savings, you got this! Yeah! Yeah, you earned it! Find that tiny little action figure! Yeah! Yeah, Sarah, wait a minute, not that big! Yeah!
With Regent's Next Step, we give you the tools and guidance to help you and your money go further.
Yeah, load that lunch, coach!
Yes, sir.
Yeah!
You don't think it'll happen to you, and you surely don't think it'll happen twice. I've lost 2 homes in my lifetime. First, it was a fire. My agent was right there and helped me rebuild. Then the tornado hit and destroyed everything again. Both times, my independent agent and auto owners took care of me like someone takes care of family.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there. Auto Owners Insurance.
It was all about proving it. This new offense of LSU. Can you prove it? Show me. And that's what Joe Burrow has shown me, that this offense is for real. 23 of 27 passing, 5 touchdowns, 9 different receivers touch the ball. So far, what I've seen from Joe Burrow is a guy who looks calm, he looks confident, and adding Joe Brady, the offensive pass coordinator to this offense, has really opened up what I think LSU, an explosive offense that many teams down the SEC, it's going to be difficult to defend.
So perhaps the only, and this is in quotes, regret tonight is he doesn't get to set the school record for single game touchdown passes, just ties it with 5. And he gives way to a very highly touted younger quarterback, Miles Brennan, who last year played in just 1 game, a late season demolition of the Rice Owls. Did play a little bit more a couple years ago, and will take over the reins here, up 45-3. He runs and takes the hit from Rashad Byrd, the inside linebacker from North Augusta, South Carolina. But this is a guy who a lot of people wanted to see last year.
You think about a couple years ago, he came in and he was supposed to be the future at LSU at the quarterback position. Remember him battling with Danny Etling, and then last year he was a part of that quarterback competition with Joe Burrow, Justin McMillan, Lowell Narcisse. But we know that that competition went to Joe Burrow, and to Miles Brennan, he did not enter the portal, which probably would have seen around other universities. So to see him kind of tough it out, hopefully he gets his opportunity at some point, maybe not this season.
He goes across the middle and converts on 3rd down. Let's go down to Edward.
Guys, in talking with some staff members at LSU while I was here, they said the guy who made the biggest push and the biggest improvement from spring to summer was Myles Brennan. They said, look, we know Joe Burrow is our guy, but Myles Brennan was the most improved player on this football team. And, I mean, I know it's early, but he's thrown a couple really good passes, and they love the work ethic that he's had since losing the job last year.
Well, he picks up exactly where Burrow left off, a 32-yard hookup with his senior receiver, Derek Dillon. Whistles and a flag precede the snap. Procedural call against LSU.
False start. Offense. Number 84. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
And this, I don't want this to come off as old man yells at clouds, but Myles Brennan to stay through that. You mentioned getting into the transfer portal because a couple weeks ago, once schools started to name their starters, you go on Twitter and it's like, oh, what a surprise. What a surprise. X, Y, and Z are all entering the transfer portal because they lost out on the starting quarterback job.
Ton of activity in the portal, Mike. Ton of activity.
Brennan on the move, tucks it, and gains a few extra yards. Late hit will gain some more as he's down inside the 15.
After the play, personal foul, late hit out of bounds. Defense, number 49. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
What a frustration. I think they called 49. It could have easily been 45 as well, Rashad Byrd. But it's always around that sideline. Got to know where you're at.
Trevor Vleem was the defensive. He almost got tackled into the play. Get him the penalty.
Always have to know where you're at.
Handoff for Fournette. Down to the 4. Only team in the SEC this year to return 8 starters at least on both sides. 8 come back here on offense this year for LSU. They lose Nick Brossette at running back, Foster Morrow at tight end, Garrett Brumfield at right guard, but great replacements in all of those spots. 2nd and goal on the first drive of the night for the sophomore quarterback Myles Brennan, on in relief of Joe Burrow. Bounce to the edge, nowhere to go for Fournette, who saw action in all 13 games last year.
I think that's the big thing that you mentioned a little bit earlier, Mike, is the loss of some of the players from last year's team. I think the biggest loss is Foster Moreau, the tight end. He was a guy who did everything. He was an H-back, he was a fullback, but also he played a little bit of an extra tackle just to help out the offensive line, who struggled a bit at times last year. So the position for me, if there's something that this offense will grow throughout the season, they're going to have to grow at tight end with the big loss of Foster Moreau to the NFL.
End zone throw is incomplete. There's a flag. Eyes on Racey McMath under the coverage of Kindle Vildor, preseason defensive player of the year in the Sun Belt Conference.
Be interesting to see this call.
Pass interference. Defense, number 20. By rule, the ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
Kindle Vildor at one cornerback spot, Monquavian Brinson at the other. A couple of seniors, guys who have combined over their career for 13 interceptions. Part of the strength of this team, which is their defense. The penalty makes it 1st and goal. Incomplete from Brennan. Looking for Trey Palmer. And oh, by the way, a marquee game next week, primetime, LSU, Texas at the half. The Longhorns are up 24-0 on Louisiana Tech. A stumbling run. It's into the end zone. Touchdown for Leonard Fournette and LSU.
It's just our guys are bigger than your guys. It's LSU's offensive line just pushing that Georgia Southern defense back. And Leonard Fournette, we know the brother of Leonard Fournette. Very similar running styles. And trust me, not a lot of defensive players in college football want to get in front of 5'11", 200 pounds coming downhill into the end zone.
Whether Burrow or Brennan at the helm, the Tigers offense continues to churn in the third.
SEC fans, gear up and support your favorite SEC school at Fanatics.com. The largest assortment of officially licensed SEC fan gear anywhere. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
With the money I've made on Poshmark, I've been able to pay for all our family's vacations.
I could pay for my wedding just on what I've made from Poshmark.
I've made over $10,000 and I was able to buy my new car.
Download the free Poshmark app now.
True South Season 2 begins September 1 in New Orleans, as it should, at 2 Italian corner stores, now beloved corner restaurants. We see and hear and taste the city that Italian immigrants made. A city built on spaghetti and red gravy, veal parm po' boys, and muffalettas.
Welcome home. Thank you.
Everyone loves the benefits of compression socks, but they're just so hard to get on. Until now, introducing the all-new Copperfit Energy Socks, the first ever easy-on, easy-off fit to help reduce swelling, relieve tired, achy muscles, and provide energizing support.
Being a SWAT commander, we train to win. The Copperfit Energy Socks, they didn't feel like other compression socks. They totally exceeded my expectations.
Copper-infused fabric woven into our compression sock to help reduce swelling discomfort.
They just slip right on, yet they still have that same compression that you want.
Extra support around the arch and ankle for relief of muscle aches and pains.
These were fantastic. A lot of compression socks are a little too thin. I could wear these every day.
Feel more energized. Get your energy socks now online at GetEnergySocks.com or call 1-800-368-5141. Order now and get a second pair free.
I have so much energy, I can go, hey, you want it, Dad?
Copperfit Energy Socks.
Guys, welcome back to Death Valley. And while Georgia Southern quarterback Shai Werts is out of the game, he's been through so much in the last couple of months. He was pulled over in July in South Carolina for speeding and called dispatch as he was being pulled over and told the woman, look, I don't feel comfortable pulling over until I'm in a lighted area. Another cop car came out and pulled in front of him, so he was forced off the road. And then all chaos broke out with him. You know, a deputy looked at a substance on his car, a white substance, and after performing a test, it came back positive as cocaine. Shai said, there's no way that that's what it is. He told the officer that it was bird droppings. He was later taken to jail, stayed there for 18 hours because the officer thought that he threw cocaine out the window and then it came back onto his car. And he said, and his coaches said, that would be something that he would never do. Eventually, the charges were dropped. The speeding ticket wasn't dropped, but this is a kid who we talked to the other day, couldn't have handled that situation any better. Sitting in there and watching him getting emotional, kind of choking up as he was talking about being in jail, being handcuffed, what he was going to tell his teammates, what he was going to tell his coaches, what he was going to tell his family. You could tell that he really took it to heart. It should be noted that the Saluda County Sheriff's Office has not issued an apology to Werts or his family. He declined to comment on if they were going to press charges against the police department, but really a very, very traumatic situation for him. Not wanting to be pulled over as a black man, saying, look, I've seen what's happened in this world. I wanted to be somewhere where people could see me, and he's come out of it really a better person.
I think the maturity that you mentioned there, Edward, of Shai Werts, understanding where he was at, his environment, and I'm not so sure that anybody else would have handled that situation as calmly as Shai Werts. Here's a guy, I met him for the first time, like you mentioned last night, and to hear him talk about it, he's still visibly shaken by what happened, but at the same time, he feels that now his opportunity to play football again, which he thought, like he spent that 18 hours in jail, it may be taken away from him. He has a greater respect for not only the football game, but about life. It's a situation, I think, that has brought that Georgia Southern team together. He only missed a couple days of practice, but was able to come back after passing a drug test. And just talking to our athletic director and Coach Lunsford a little bit earlier today, there's no way that they felt that that quarterback did in which it was charged for or tried to be charged for. Just to me, an understanding of being raised right, but also moving forward and understanding where he's at in his life. And I just give kudos to Shai Werts of handling a situation that could have been a lot different had he done something else.
Yeah, and the maturity that he showed to say, look, this isn't what you think it is. Obviously, when they performed another test, it came back as negative. And to keep it as cool as he was with us and with his reaction to the police department. He said he wants to use this platform to help people who've been in these situations and could be in these situations who don't have the resources or platform that he does as a Georgia Southern football player.
And they're proud to have him leading their team. The score not in their favor tonight, but a guy that they are proud to stand behind as the quarterback of this team, who unfortunately had his night come to an end early after LSU linebacker Kayvon Chason came down hard on him earlier in the game, injuring his right arm.
I think also what was interesting, just talking with Shai Werts, it's also what he's doing off the field. And Georgia Southern having a coach that's able to have the mental health awareness in which a lot of teams need to start looking at now. Because when you have guys who just play football, there's still things that they have to take care of off the field. And Shai Werts was just saying how proactive that Georgia Southern has been having a mental health coach on staff for them to be able to talk things out, whether it's about football or the classroom or just life in general.
Yeah, they've got a mental skills trainer who they work with, Dr. Brandon Harris, who is a professor at the university, also a certified mental performance consultant. And Shai says he's helped him with his breathing, just to slow down his heart rate, with how he approaches things, because he said when he steps into this stadium, you got 102,000 people. This is one of the top 10 largest venues in the sport, but after the first play, he'd be good to go. Shai Werts out today, and Georgia Southern down 52-3 here in the third.
Who do you think of when I say hero? Is it someone in a cape, or is it someone you know? In SEC country, being a hero means tutoring a struggling student, feeding hungry neighbors in your community, or showing up at a hospital to make a child's day a little brighter. Heroes are all around us, and Belk wants to celebrate them with what we're calling Project Hometown Heroes. We'll show you everyday heroes that are strengthening the communities around the SEC. Now, who do you think of when I say hero? Learn more at belk.com/Project Hometown.
So here's the deal. Somewhere along the way, Western boots got too expensive. And the styles? Well, Tecovas fixed that. We make handcrafted, high-quality Western boots from the finest materials for a fair price. With free shipping, returns, and exchanges, and service that would make our grandmothers proud. From comfort to quality to price, value is one of our values. Find your pair only at Tecovas.com.
Justin Ellis, the redshirt sophomore who returns home here to Georgia Southern. Native of Georgia, transfer from Syracuse, is the injured player for the Eagles. Here with 2nd and 8 upcoming and 3:20 to go in the third quarter.
Ellis right here just gets rolled up on, and you look at one of those incidents where you're just trying to play and someone rolls into the back of your foot, your ankle.
You're the casualty of a cacophony of bodies in there. Not a lot you can do.
But him walking off, hopefully that's a good sign that it's not a serious injury.
And the scoreboard says enough, but beyond that, LSU tonight more touchdowns than Georgia Southern first downs. 7 touchdowns and 6 first downs for the Eagles. Miles Brennan came in after 1 drive in the second half for Joe Burrow, starting quarterback for LSU tonight. 23 for 27, 278 yards, 5 touchdowns through the air. He steps up with a short arm throw, and it's nearly taken away by Jesse Liptrot, the redshirt senior cornerback for Georgia Southern.
Outstanding play by Liptrot, just being able to understand space, where he's at, looking at the quarterback and getting ahead. If he doesn't make that play, that's a big gain on first down for LSU.
Check down throw. The freshman running back Tyrion Davis-Price. Big guy, 6'1", 226. More in the style of LSU running backs of teams past. But one of the names that came up with this new look offense and bringing on Joe Brady as their passing game coordinator coming over from the Saints was Alvin Kamara, a guy who guys say, hey, we watch tape of him because we want to know how to best catch passes out of the backfield. Yeah, that's this offense now. It needs running backs who can catch the ball out of the backfield. And we've seen over and over again today, whether it was Burrow, now Brennan, of getting the ball to the running back out of the backfield. Shakes off one defender, Lane Ecton, but he's down at about the 40-yard line. Inside 2 minutes left in the third quarter for LSU. We've seen some swaps around the offensive line. Dare Rosenthal has been there at left tackle a good deal. Badara Traore got the start there. And there's a question, I think, too, after this game as to what's the story at left tackle with Adrian McGee, Chasen Hines. That spot up in the air coming into this game. Pass incomplete on second down. So last year, the offensive line in 13 games had 7 starting combinations. You got Hines there, 57 at left guard. They were last in the SEC, allowed 35 sacks. For the offense to continue to improve by leaps and bounds as they'd like it to, they need consistency there this year.
And if you don't throw the ball, you have to have at least guys who play consistent starts. We're talking about 5, 6, 7, 8 starts in a row to really get this offense in tune. Because right now, like you mentioned, no Sadiq Charles today. Maybe saving him next week for Texas.
Incomplete again on 3rd and 10. A little bit of miscommunication there between Brennan and Jontre Kirkland, who they used this week as the scout team quarterback to run the triple option in practice against the starting defense. Kirkland played quarterback in high school as well at Lutcher High School. And Dave Aranda said he was a great quarterback for the scout team. So Zach Von Rosenberg on to kick again. He's not had to do very much work tonight. Fair catch back at the 10-yard line for Georgia Southern. Monday, 7 Eastern, 6 Central, Thinking Out Loud is presented by Regions Bank, and it's back for another season. Greg McElroy, Marcus Spears, joined by Alyssa Lang. They'll talk football and want your participation via social media throughout the show, right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. (52-3) LSU over Georgia Southern, which has amassed 71 yards. Granted, they knew, everybody knew they're the huge underdog coming into this game. This night will not define their season. They come off of a 10-3 season, winners of 12 out of 16, and last year was their most wins since they moved up to the FBS level back in 2014. It's a battle of backup quarterbacks now as a long throw goes wide for Justin Tomlin. 2nd and 10 on the way.
Well, I think the one thing in talking with Coach Lunsford was that when he first took over the job, he had to really teach his football team how to win games. They had to learn how to win. Like, how do you teach guys how to win? And they learned that last year. And they learned it by doing what? It was forcing turnovers. It was being disciplined. It was special teams. The same formula that they learned last year. How do they increase their win total again this year? I think now Georgia Southern last year caught a lot of people by surprise, having won 2 games the prior season. I think this year everyone knows that this is one of the formidable teams in the Sun Belt.
J.D. King sent backward. That was a massive turnaround. This is just the 2nd full year for Chad Lunsford, the 42-year-old native of Georgia, as they went +8. And they became just the 4th FBS team to go from double-digit losses to double-digit wins in 1 year. And it's all happened in recent history. Fresno, Air Force, and Miami of Ohio.
And it's winning the turnover battle, too. +22 last year for them in terms of getting the ball 22 more times in their opposing teams. But I love the quote that he said, Eagles don't beat Eagles. Don't beat up on the Eagles. Meaning that we can't have penalties on ourselves.
Ed Ogeron just came sprinting down the sideline to get the timeout, and it gives us the opportunity to go to Daria in the studio.
14-6. Oregon with the ball inside the red zone. Oregon extends their lead to 21-6. Auburn can't get anything going offensively. Back to you guys.
Wow. Auburn down.
You think it helps to have a veteran presence at quarterback?
Yeah. I've said this before. When they released the AP poll, they released the coaches poll, and I started to look at a lot of the teams that were in the top 15, maybe even top 20, and I said, wow, it does look a little different. And I shouldn't say different. It's all the teams that have returning quarterbacks, whether it was Clemson, Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma, sort of a wild card, but I can call Jalen Hurts a returning quarterback. He's got starting experience, went to a national title game. Ohio State with Justin Fields as a wild card. LSU bringing one back, but Justin Herbert at Oregon, a returning starter, did not go to the NFL. And right now, his Oregon Ducks trying to help out and carry the torch for the Pac-12 right now. This is a big game for Oregon going up against Auburn, another SEC opponent.
And the only matchup of the opening weekend of 2 top 25 teams squaring off against one another.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter.
52-3 at the end of the 3rd. LSU, Coach O, happy with what they see.
Who do you think of when I say hero? Is it someone in a cape or is it someone you know? In SEC country, being a hero means tutoring a struggling student, feeding hungry neighbors in your community, or showing up at a hospital to make a child's day a little brighter. Heroes are all around us, and Belk wants to celebrate them with what we're calling Project Hometown Heroes. We'll show you everyday heroes that are strengthening the communities around the SEC. Now, who do you think of when I say hero? Learn more at belk.com/Project Hometown.
Our tradition for my football team is we dress up, shirt and tie. I had a tie, but I didn't know how to tie it. Usually I would have my dad help me, but he was deployed. I'm thinking, don't worry about it. My grandma should know.
He says, can you tie a tie? And I'm like, no. But we're on our way to Chick-fil-A.
I recognize them because they came into our store so much. Miss Bertha and Mr. Terrence, I'm like, of course, I'll help them out and show them how to tie a tie.
It wasn't just the tie, it's what was in your heart.
It's my pleasure. Doing good, man. You got it.
You knew the risks when you decided to drive drunk. There could be a crash. People could get hurt or killed. You could get arrested. But one thing's for sure, you were wrong when you said it was no big deal.
On an all-new season of Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
Welcome to Fansville's 150th anniversary tailgate!
Go State!
Somebody get him a Dr. Pepper.
Stat, we got fans coming in. From Fan Arbor, East Fencing, Kansas City, Kansas.
There's a new grill master in town.
Go State!
Mom, Dad.
Lacrosse?
It's the fastest growing sport in America.
Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville.
Gonna be a big year. Support your favorite college at Fanatics.com. The largest assortment of officially licensed fan gear for more than 500 colleges. Every conference, every team. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
Now that we're banking with Chime, we get paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit. Which means now we can do more of the things we love.
Oh my God, the gang's back together.
Start banking with Chime today at Chime.com.
True South Season 2 begins September 1 in New Orleans, as it should, at 2 Italian corner stores, now beloved corner restaurants. We see and hear and taste the city that Italian immigrants made. A city built on spaghetti and red gravy, veal parm po' boys, and muffalettas.
Welcome home.
Thank you.
Let's take a look at our 15 minutes or less, brought to you by Geico. Joe Burrow stealing the show, playing the first half, 1 drive of the second, 23 of 27, 278 yards, and 5 touchdowns, making everybody in purple, gold, and white in this building happy, including an LSU defensive legend who's with Edward Ashoff on the sidelines.
Picked by the Tampa Bay Bucks, Devin White. What is it like being back here? What was it like being a guest captain for the LSU Tigers tonight?
Yeah, it was great. It's always great to, be able to be in Baton Rouge. Home is where the heart is, and the heart will forever be in Baton Rouge. I feel like this is a place that molded me into a great young man.
What does it mean to you that your coaches in Tampa gave you the responsibility of calling the defense this year?
That means that, I was well prepared, and that's hats out to Coach Aranda. He molded that, that leadership mentality, that, go out and be the man mentality. And, for all my coaches in Tampa Bay, I'm extremely happy because, it's a lot of pressure on me, but I asked for the pressure, and it's going to make me play better.
One thing that's got to make you happy is how well this defense at LSU has shown tonight. What have you seen from your guys? What do you expect from them this season?
We played like a triple option team, but one thing we don't do, we don't reload, it's next man up. We always got some, young gunners, waiting behind somebody, and, it was shown tonight. And next week when we go take care of business in Austin, the world to see.
And what about that offense? What is this? Forward passes at LSU. What's that all about?
Hey, a change has come. Shout out to Coach O. He bringing the best coaches in the world. Who wouldn't want to coach for LSU? We got the best fans, best stadium, best facilities now. So it's all coming hand in hand, and it's working out.
One guy who's played so well tonight, Caleb Chasen. What is it like to see him back, considering everything he went through last year, that ACL injury?
Oh, yeah, he was a big piece of our defense last year, and a lot of people didn't even realize, he was a major part of the sack game, and, he's always been a high-energy guy, so we needed him, but I'm happy that, he's back out there flying around, and, the Tigers might not get to keep him too long if he keep that up. I know a lot of NFL teams will be calling.
Getting a lot of comparisons to you out there, man.
Yeah, I like it, man. He needs to do more than I did and bring the buckets back.
Sounds good, man. Thanks for the time.
All right, thank you.
Setting the bar high to have to do more than he did, but certainly I think the level of expectations is appropriately set for this defense.
And the number 5 overall pick there, you're giving him the honor of wearing that green dot on the back of the helmet as the signal caller, starting linebacker for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's in a good division. Another former LSU Tiger, Deion Jones, the starting linebacker in Atlanta. So you think of that NFC South with Devin White and Deion Jones.
Rashad Byrd got in on that tackle, even though it hasn't been a great night for Georgia Southern. Their redshirt junior linebacker up to 15 tackles, 3.5 tackles for a loss as well. So a standout effort on an otherwise difficult night.
And he's been all over the place. It's number 45, and there's some guys who I think can play, in the Power 5 conferences. Rashad Byrd is one of those guys.
Third and 2. It's enough for the first down for John Emery, the number 1 running back in the freshman class coming into college this year.
And right now, you're going to see these young running backs, these couple true freshmen, Tyrion Davis Price, John Emery. For them, it's just about holding on to the football. It's getting those carries in college and feeling that pressure, feeling what it feels like. It's a little bit different than high school. Guys are going to swipe away, try to take away that football. And watching Emery so far, he's kind of holding it out just a little bit. Got to make sure that ball's tight. We call it 3 points of pressure. Make sure you have all those points covered.
So you're saying it's kind of proven yourself trustworthy here?
You got to trust.
Brennan Tootal looking for Racy McMath along the sideline, a guy who had just 2 catches last year.
Well, we knew today possibly they were going to empty out the roster. Basically, everybody was going to play, unload the roster in terms of getting a look at guys who you can trust. Next week, I think we'll see more of a condensed roster going up against Texas in Austin, going on the road. It'll be interesting to see some of these Tigers and what they can do next week on the road.
And Burrow went for 278 yards tonight. Last year threw for just under 2,900 yards. And he played 2 quarters and 1 drive. You think about if he can replicate this type of performance every week, which it won't be this amazing every week because the level of competition is going to be higher once you get into the SEC. But you could think that the single season passing record would easily be within reach with this more wide open offense for him.
I think easily. I think he should be able to get that record this year. The way that they're throwing the ball and the receivers that they have, how deep that they are. Last year they kind of focused on just Justin Jefferson, but we've seen Chase have a touchdown. We've seen Marshall catch a couple passes. I think they're more loaded at that position than at any point in Ed Orgeron's head coaching at LSU.
And having perspective on something makes it easier to understand. Steve Ensminger, Ed Orgeron, asked them both, has there been an offense like this before in LSU's history? And both of them said, I can't think of anything close to it. The single season record belongs to Rohan Davey back in 2001 when Jimbo Fisher was the offensive coordinator.
If you ask me, hey, what's LSU's, what's their offense? You say, hey, they're going to run, and they're going to run. They run kind of to throw. Changing that philosophy that they're going to throw to run, and we've seen some open lanes with a quarterback that's been very efficient throughout this ball game.
Cade York, good from 48 yards, and the lead is 55-3.
Yes, it's the first word of any new discovery. But when allergies attack, the excitement fades. Allegra helps you say yes with the fastest non-drowsy allergy relief and turn any half-hearted yes into an all-in yes. Allegra, live your life, not your allergies.
I think I found my dream car.
She can stay with you to finish her senior year.
So much for the empty nest. Things will be tight, but we can make this work.
That's great. Now,
Grandpa, what about your dream car?
this is my dream now.
Principal, we can help you plan for that. Start today at principal.com.
What about him? I know. Let's do it. These winding roads will lead me home to you. I'll go on.
This summer, add a new member to the family. Hurry into the Mercedes-Benz summer event today for exceptional offers. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
I thought I'd lost my business in that fire, but my agent was there before the flames were out. He said, together, we're going to rebuild. We've got 25 employees who depended on it, and that's all that mattered to me. My independent agent and auto owners made sure we didn't skip a beat. I mean, we didn't miss a single payroll. Incredible.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there. Auto Owners Insurance.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Would you rather face a furious SEC defensive line or poison ivy?
Well, what kind of coverage are we talking about?
Like defensive coverage?
No, like body percentage, because calamine lotion's gross.
I don't know, 40%?
I would like to hear option 3.
There is no option 3.
But what if I could give the SEC defensive line a case of poison ivy?
LSU up 52. Let's go back to the studio for the comeback moment, supplemented by Aflac.
All righty, thank you much. That comeback moment, no doubt, belongs to Tua Tagovailoa. Why not? Of course, we remember the way he and Alabama closed out the season a year ago, 44-16 at the hands of Clemson. But what he did against Duke, 4 touchdown passes, well over 300 yards passing. Props to Tua and the Tide.
And I know fans here at LSU, we're looking at the comeback for Les Miles in the debut at Kansas today. A 24-7 come from behind win against the mighty Sycamores of Indiana State. Starting field position at the 13 for Georgia Southern. New facility, one of the best in the country here at LSU. So you walk into this new locker room in this amazing facility. Overall, the building 25,000 square feet. This is what $28 million gets you. These pods that are designed like first-class lay-flat seats in airports. And this is Greg Stringfellow, the director of equipment here at LSU. Each locker has ventilation underneath, and apparently quite nice for naps as well, Mr. Morrison.
I could have laid there all day, I promise you. I can see that. Look, let me grab my phone. Take a picture of this, please, how comfortable those things are. I can see why players would love to nap there throughout the day. Think about that. You go eat there, you go to class, go to practice.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Take a nap. Just really relax. It was comfortable. I don't think people understand how comfortable those pods were. Like, I could literally have slept there the entire day. I know we had to do a game, like, but you know, some of the best facilities in all of college football. I think even NFL as well.
Right, you spent 8 years in the league. Is there anything that was comparable to that, whether you played there or visited now as an analyst?
I'm trying to figure it out because I don't know many places that have just a place in which you can have so much to be able to just be there all day long. I mean, that's what I think schools want. They want to be able to have a place where their student athletes can feel comfortable, be able to eat, sleep, do their homework, study, watch film. And we're not even talking about the film room, the walkthrough room that I got a chance to see.
Horse collar tackle, number 46, defense. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. First down.
LSU's penalty is against the junior linebacker Andre Anthony. So dive in a little bit more on this play.
Well, this play right here, just we know that's the horse collar tackle. And you cannot grab a player right, what we call the shoulder plate. You know, right there, that horse collar, that neck collar, you got to stay away from there. I get it, the hustle of Anthony, but you got to lay off of those types of plays. 15 yards. Always had a coach say, you're not worth 15 yards. Don't do that. But that's one of the things that you have to iron out early on in the season. They haven't had a lot of live tackling, especially against their own selves. So you have some of those roles early on in terms of tackling to start the season.
Short run on 1st and 10 after the penalty for J.D. King. So you mentioned in the football facility the walk-through room. We can't show you it. We'll do our best to tell you about it.
Well, it's a walk-through room. What'd you say how big it was, Mike? Probably about, I would say about 20 yards in width, length maybe about almost, say, half a football field. But to be able to have 3 projection screens going and have the sort of the image of the offensive formations being ran and be able to make your checks, being able to adjust things on defense, something that Dave Aranda saw in his visits with the Green Bay Packers and said, you know what, I want a room like that. And that's something that they were able to help out and do in this new rebuilt football operations center at LSU.
Catch for Caleb Hood moves the chains for the Eagles here with 9.5 to go, 4th quarter. Their lone score today, a field goal. So they're up to 81 total yards to 443 for the LSU offense that on its first 5 drives yielded 5 touchdowns tonight. And to build that facility, the locker room has gotten a lot of the attention.
Right.
And deservedly so. Greg Stringfellow, a huge thanks to him, the director of equipment here at LSU, for giving us a great tour and telling us about the genesis of that facility. Really goes all the way back several years to he's on a plane coming back from playing at Lambeau Field, and they ended up on a plane which had those kind of lay flat seats. They got it designed not by a company that makes lockers, but that makes furniture based out of Indiana. And he said that today one of the lead engineers on that project texted him with an LSU shirt on and said good luck. So they've made fans even in the Hoosier State.
Yeah, they've made fans. They've got people who are following this program now. It kind of even goes to the quarterback too, Joe Burrow, because in Ohio, where he's from, Joe Burrow, everyone's now LSU fans, right? In a state in which you're supposed to be an Ohio State fan. Think about the fans, I think, at LSU are starting to gain throughout the country. Just a football team that, I don't know if they're underdogs anymore, Mike. They were kind of the underdogs. When you look at where Alabama and Georgia's been over the last couple seasons and being in the college football playoff, could this be LSU's year to finally join that group and get into the college football playoff?
Pressure comes from the edges here on 3rd down and finally gets there. Neil Farrell helps lead the charge and force the punt.
A relentless pass rush. Keep going. They're going to keep harping that defensive performance. Next week, a little bit different offense. Basically, it's funny to say this, Mike, but they've got to throw away everything that they've done this week on defense, LSU, and go against something similar to what they're seeing from their offense, which is a spread offense that they're going to see from the University of Texas.
LSU had 10 on the field. Derek Stingley was real late to get out there, and his momentum carries him across the field. LSU takes over with clock to kill.
Negotiate your salary. You're worth every penny.
You're never too old to get the band back together.
1, 2, 3.
At Regions, we think there's only one way to manage your money. Your way. And our award-winning service can help you find it.
Save your allowance. Growing up gets expensive.
Switch for good. Regions has the people, tools, and tech to move you forward.
When an accident, theft, or severe weather knock you down, Shelter Insurance is there to help pick you up. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
On an all-new season of Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
There's a storm coming.
Did you hear that? Someone's in the house.
All of our Dr. Pepper's gone.
Hey, you got the wrong fan.
Are you seeing another grill?
It's just a snack.
That's it, Crow.
These turnovers are killing us.
Your husband's gone.
For the season? I'm transferring to Tech.
Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville. About time you showed up.
My name is Mo Hassan, and my nonprofit Second Spoon. We're taking surplus foods and we're distributing them to the homeless in different communities. When I first got to college, I saw firsthand in the cafeterias just how much food was wasted. We need to find a way to repurpose these foods. Just seeing firsthand the homeless people's faces when we bring them food and positively affect them in that way is amazing. I just know it's more than football, and we have a platform, and I think we owe it to the community to use that platform for good.
Learn more at belk.com/projecthometown.
Coming up next, the SEC Now team will give you a recap of all the games with highlights, analysis, interviews, and everything else. No one covers the SEC like we do. You can also see it streaming live on the ESPN app, which I made extensive use of earlier today. You get a night game, which means a lot of time to sit and wait and watch college football. Not a bad deal.
I've enjoyed it throughout the day watching week 1 of the college football season.
Edward Ashoff on the sidelines. Kirk Morrison, Mike Cousins up in the booth. Here with you from Baton Rouge tonight in the season opener for LSU and Georgia Southern.
My top 5 quarterbacks, I think, in the SEC right now, obviously Tua Tagovailoa today, 336, 4 touchdowns versus Duke. Jake Fromm, kind of a light night against Vandy, 9 of 15, 103. But I think Joe Burrow, I think he's the 3rd best quarterback in the SEC. And you look at what this offense looked like, especially in the first half today, I got to think his numbers are going to go through the roof. And then you think about the other quarterbacks, and for me, I think 4 would be Felipe Franks. You look at Kellen Mond over at Texas A&M, and he had 3 touchdowns the other night on Thursday night. And then, like the honorable mentions, you know, we don't know much about Kelly Bryant, the transfer from Clemson over to Missouri. So it'll be interesting to see these quarterbacks of the SEC.
Would you be willing to revise this, say, at the midway point of the season?
I think so. I think we want to see them. This is my preliminary list. This is my week 1 list of top 5 quarterbacks, which can easily be shifted and changed. But I think so far, I think Joe Burrow has really established himself as the 3rd best quarterback within the conference.
Tua today, 4 touchdowns, 42-3.
Yes.
As Alabama beats Duke. They last played back in 2010 at Wallace Wade Stadium. And Alabama extends its unranked winning streak to 83 games, continuing to grow their FBS record mark.
I'll put Kellen Mond in there. We'll see what he does now.
They've just got a bear of a schedule this year at A&M.
It's going to be tough. But we know Jimbo Fisher's got to figure it out offensively in terms of they're going to have to outscore a lot of people. And so we know they're going to score points. And what does that do for Kellen Mond in terms of my hierarchy of quarterbacks in the SEC?
Now, LSU never faced Georgia Southern before today. So they'll go to 1-0 against them and improve to 33-1 against teams out of the Sun Belt. That only loss back in 2017 against Troy. Neil Brown, the head coach there then, now at West Virginia. And as Edward talked about earlier, it's a lot about blocking out the noise for LSU coming into this season. They're in the AP top 25 in the coaches poll for the 19th straight year to open the season. But this is their highest ranking since they opened up at number 5 in 2016, Edward.
Yeah, and the one thing that Coach O said about just coaching here and being from Louisiana is how much he appreciates it. He doesn't think about the rankings. He doesn't think about any of the fanfare. He thinks about being a Louisiana boy, the same boy who asked his daddy when he was little why they couldn't go to LSU games, and it was because he said they were for rich people, but one day you'll earn your way into the stadium, and he certainly has. And he says that he looks out on his balcony that overlooks the practice fields every day and says a prayer that he is so grateful for being at LSU. Now let's see what happens this season with the expectations up a little bit.
And for so many coaches around the country, it's a chase to just get to the next step on the ladder.
Right.
Rarely is a dream job truly a dream job. I remember at Syracuse, my alma mater, Doug Marrone was the head coach. He goes to the Buffalo Bills, says it's a dream job, leaves the Bills. Everybody says, well, I thought it was a dream job. I thought Syracuse, your alma mater, was a dream job. But this program has a connection that is deeper than surface level, much deeper for Coach O being here at LSU.
He's a Louisiana native. And
it's home.
It's home for him, and he understands what this program is really all about. And being able to be here once as a player, it also, it puts you in a, I think, sort of a situation that it feels different. It hits differently to anybody else who never went to LSU. For him to be here and understand the tradition, the pageantry. He talked about that Tiger Walk, man. He said nothing like that Tiger Walk.
Major, your father was experimenting with a classified material. All life could be destroyed.
You know what you'll have to do.
I worry about you. I love you.
Nothing can prepare you for what's out there. Are you ready? I'm ready.
Ad Astra, rated PG-13, September 20th.
All right. In my Johnsonville commercial, we open with a car chase. There's semis, you got a couple of bikers in there, and grandmas on scooters. There's a news reporter down there, and she's going blah, 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 big car chase. Oh, yeah.
They're chasing the Johnsonville Big Taste Grill.
Finally, the driver turns to the guy next to him and says, "Did you leave the sausage on the grill again?" And he goes, "Yep. Might as well put him to good use." I don't know how it ends. It could be an explosion, maybe. And that's commercial made the Johnsonville way.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Would you rather face a furious SEC defensive line or poison ivy?
Well, what kind of coverage we're talking about?
Like defensive coverage?
No, like body percentage, because calamine lotion's gross.
I don't know, 40%?
I would like to hear option 3.
There is no option 3.
Well, what if I could give the SEC defensive line a case of poison ivy?
Look closely. This $50 Buffalo gold piece was the purest gold coin ever struck using .9999. That's 4 nines, pure 24-karat gold. The U.S. government had to stop production because of a shortage of specially made gold blanks. It's no wonder the price of that edition has gone through the roof. Now you can reserve your own copy clad in 14 milligrams of 24-karat gold. The final issue price was to be set at $50 per proof. But now this private, non-monetary 24-karat gold-clad masterpiece can be yours for only $9.95. With gold prices up almost 300% since 2003, price can only be guaranteed for 7 days. Each new 2019 $50 gold Buffalo Tribute proof is clad in 14 milligrams of 24-karat gold, is proof struck, and utilizes the famous Buffalo nickel design. Strict limit of 5 proofs per caller. You must hurry. Call now.
To order, call 1-800-613-9503. Strict limit of 5 proofs per caller.
LSU's defense tonight coming into this drive has held Georgia Southern under 100 total yards, 96 on the evening, while the offense has put up 473 and looked as good as advertised. There is a flag on the play, but this offense now has 2 masterminds at the helm.
Yeah, you got Joe Brady and Steve Ensminger. Steve Ensminger on the right. He's been the offensive coordinator the last couple seasons, but there needed to be a wrinkle. And that wrinkle was Joe Brady. Joe Brady came over last couple seasons in terms of he and Pete Carmichael, the quarterback's coach and offensive coordinator with the New Orleans Saints. And it was just about the passing game in which we've seen Drew Brees, Alvin Kamara. We look at Mike Thomas as well. And LSU said we wanted pieces of that offense. How can we incorporate that offense within our offense? And it's been a relationship in which Coach Orgeron said we need that guy, and Joe Brady's been cut over. It's been a seamless transition. Steve Ensminger is still the offensive coordinator. He's still going to call the plays, but Joe Brady and they both come together. They go over the game plan, and if he sees something he likes, he'll tell him. But for the most part, what I've seen today, especially in the passing game of why they brought Joe Brady here, if this is going to be the offense we're going to see all year long for LSU, the SEC and even the country better be on notice.
And it's a collaborative process because Ensminger said during the game he's going to get input from Brady. He's also going to seek input from Brady, especially on 3rd down plays where it's a guaranteed passing opportunity. Where do they want to go with that? And for a guy who's 29 years old, think about the marriage there between those two in the booth. 29 years old and 60 years old, a 31-year age gap between those two. Guys who see the game differently from different generations, but coming together to help make a new offense for LSU that they haven't seen before. Now they want to go 50-50 run versus pass. We'll see what happens as the year goes along, but the first 2 years of Ed Orgeron's head coaching tenure, first 2 full seasons, they had in 2017 under Matt Canada, they were plus 263 run versus pass, and last year was 176 more runs versus passes, so still plenty of time to see how that plays out.
Yeah, but all of this is possible by having Joe Burrow at quarterback. Let's not forget that. Having a returning quarterback who's kind of waited his turn. People forget that he had to wait behind J.T. Barrett and Dwayne Haskins at Ohio State. He transfers to LSU. A good season last year, but I think he's going to have an even better year this year because of the Ensminger and Brady connection. We've seen it so far throughout the first half and the first drive of the second half. It's only going to get better, I think, for LSU offensively.
Long punt takes an Eagles roll inside the 20-yard line. And just a half minute to wind down for LSU before 1-0 is in the books.
Guys,
Guys, it's back!
Inline skating?
No, the Zensation is back at Zaxby's.
You heard right. The Zensation salad is back. And introducing the new Zensation filet sandwich meal, both served with an egg roll. For a limited time, only at Zaxby's.
We think you would really shine in the Aflac program.
Aflac? Coach Saban, we have health insurance.
Did health insurance pay for everything?
No. We still have bills.
Aflac gives you money directly to help with those.
Aflac?
And your deductibles, knee brace, whatever you choose.
Aflac sounds like a winner.
We try.
Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover. Aflac is an official sponsor of the SEC.
On an all-new season of Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
Welcome to Fansville's 150th anniversary tailgate.
Go State. He said State. Somebody get him a Dr. Pepper.
Stat. We got fans coming in from Van Arbor, East Fencing, Kansas City, Kansas.
There's a new grill master in town.
Go State.
Mom, Dad.
Lacrosse?
It's the fastest growing sport in America.
Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville.
Gonna be a big year.
SEC fans, gear up and support your favorite SEC school at Fanatics.com. The largest assortment of officially licensed SEC fan gear anywhere. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
Now that we're banking with Chime, we get paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit. Which means now, we can do more of the things we love. Yeah.
Oh my God, the gang's back together.
Start banking with Chime today at Chime.com.
I've scored some pretty good deals on Poshmark, like the Bread Air Jordan 1. This is my favorite sneaker of all time. So I was able to find a pair really easily without spending a crazy amount of money.
Get $5 off your first order. Download the free Poshmark app now and use offer code LOVEPOSH.
It's going to be loud in Austin.
Saturdays in the South, the history of SEC football starts Tuesday, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, part 1 of 8 on the SEC Network. Take it with you wherever you go on the ESPN app. 33 seconds to go before number 6 LSU can put a bow on this one, improve to 1-0 as the preparation for Texas begins next Saturday, or next weekend, at Texas, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central on ABC against the Longhorns.
That's a big game. That's probably the big game in the early part of the season for me that I think we're going to see two programs, two storied programs, Texas, LSU. I think this is going to be one of those signature wins throughout the season. I know Ed Orgeron, happy for his team's performance, happy the way that his offense played today, but let's not be let's not get it twisted. Next week is the big one.
Joe Burrow, 23 of 27, 278 yards and 5 touchdowns. Ed Orgeron now in his 3rd full season improves to 26-9 as the head coach at LSU. Shaking hands with Chad Lunsford, the head coach at Georgia Southern. They take on Maine in their home opener next week as LSU gets set to hit the road. So they're glad to get this game out of the way because of the immense amount of preparation that goes into having to face a triple option team. Ed Orgeron said during camp and this week leading up to the game, their analysts in the football offices started preparing for this game in February, analyzing film from last year. The benefit for them? Teams didn't know how to prepare, or at least Georgia Southern didn't know how to prepare with a new look offense where the only real tape was the spring game with Joe Burrow. Let's go down to Coach O with Edward.
Coach, you said walking into the stadium every time you feel like you're a part of this crowd. What was it like to get a win and get a win like this tonight?
It was awesome to see our team execute like this. We've been watching them, and in practice, they've been doing the same thing. Our coaches did a tremendous job. You know, what can I say about the offense? Those on point today. Give Georgia Southern some credit. They're a well-coached football team. We have to work hard on them. We've been studying that option since February. Our defensive coaches did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, with your defense, obviously triple option a little different, but how good was their discipline tonight?
That's great. Our discipline was exactly what the coaches wanted. They stayed in the gap. And the thing I'm most pleased with, we tackled well. You know, the first game, you worried about tackling. Our guys did a tremendous job of tackling.
Congratulations, Coach.
Go Tigers. Thank you, man.
So what's up?
Almost 300 yards passing. You finally get to show off this offense that we were talking about. What was it like to be in it tonight?
Yeah, I think, we felt like we were in the zone tonight. We had a couple miscues on some drives. We felt like we should have scored every drive. So we got some things to clean up, just like every week one, but I think it was a really good start.
When you look at how this team played, I mean, some teams this week, slow starts. You guys were fast from the jump. What does that say about how far this team has come?
Yeah, I think it shows our maturity. We have, just about everybody returning on offense and defense, except some key guys last year, and a lot of seniors on the starting lineups. So I think that shows our maturity.
Congratulations, man. Go celebrate.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
What a night for LSU, one of the shining stars out of the SEC as they close up a win 55-3 with Texas on deck next week. So for our entire production crew, led by Paul Irvin up here in the booth, Tim Swartz, Joe Sullivan, I'm Mike Cousins saying so long on behalf of Kirk Morris and Edward Ashaw from Baton Rouge. We send you to SEC Now.
All right, Mike, Kirk, Ed, thank you all very much. Nice job in a 55-3 round. It's what we needed, Chris Doring, Gene Chizik. Frankly, on a day that has not gone in an ideal fashion, to watch a team with high expectations go out and absolutely dominate on both sides of the football. Thank you, LSU, for providing that. Right?
Yeah, no doubt. And it was especially nice to see the offense do the things that they did, Coach. We've been hearing for so long about Joe Brady's impact on this passing game and how different the offense was going to look. They definitely came out and looked a lot different. This was a team offensively that got 6 first-half touchdowns on 7 possessions. You know what the average time of possession was on those touchdowns? 2 minutes and 10 seconds. When was the last time you could say that about an LSU offense?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to talk about the offense because it was outstanding, but this defense was smothering, guys. They were never out of place. They held Georgia Southern to 98 total yards. We've seen this Georgia Southern offense, the option, gash people. And Edo said it best, man. They worked on it all summer. That's a hard offense to stop. Nobody was out of place. They couldn't get anything going on offense, completely dominating on defense.
39 carries and 74 yards on the ground for Georgia Southern. That's not sack yards because of the run the triple option. Only 2 true sacks for LSU that totaled, 14 yards? I think this was an impressive performance.
When you say sacks, we're probably talking about the quarterback getting hit on a run option in the background.
Couldn't pitch, right?
Yeah.
Essentially, before he could pitch the football. No, dominant performance. Offensively, Joe Burrow, school record tying, 5 touchdowns, only played 1 possession of the second half. An easy night for them. And we got to see the playmakers that you were talking about.
Yeah, the receiver.
They are rich on the outside.
Let me tell you, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, you saw all these guys show up. Terrace Marshall, all these guys showed up. This is what I'm saying. These are weapons right now that not a lot of people are talking about, but right now you have a guy throwing the ball that's accurate. He's confident. He makes great decisions. And you got these 6'2", 6'3", 6'4" guys on the perimeter that can go up and get the ball. They're just young. This is going to be something fun to watch.
And Joe Burrow spread it around well to all those guys. You talk about the pressure that puts on a defense. That's what this offense was about in the first half, putting pressure on the opposing defense because the tempo was high. They used a lot of RPO stuff that we haven't seen LSU use before, and they spread the field across from sideline to sideline. Very difficult to defend.
No doubt. We're kind of keeping our eye on some other games right now. As when everything goes final, we'll jump into a full 60-minute SEC Now. We're just going to kind of keep you company until then and keep an eye on other games that are going on. Auburn, Oregon getting very interesting right now. Missouri at Wyoming. This one we didn't see going the way that it's going to this point. But, one other question about LSU. It's hard to gauge on a night like tonight where you'd like to see them improve. But they've got to go to Texas next week. And you heard the guys at the end of the broadcast talking about that. Where do they need to focus over the next week to get ready for the Longhorns?
Well, if they're going to stop this offense at Texas, this offense at Texas is rolling. They were very confident. Look what they did to Georgia. They out-physicaled them in the Sugar Bowl. The quarterback is extremely tough. Sam Ehlinger is a tough dude that can throw the football. They're going to have to go into Austin, which is a hard place to play, and this defense is going to have to show up big again. Be in the right spots, play physical at the point of attack, rotate enough guys in there. It's going to be a hot one down there in Austin, and play like they played tonight. And I'm not talking about Georgia Southern's Georgia Southern, right? I'm talking about they tackled well in open space. They executed everything that Dave Aranda called. That's what I was impressed about for game one.
Yeah.
That's the most complete game one I've seen in a defense in a long time.
Beauty of them tonight, I thought, they didn't play, you mentioned this off air, they did not play to the level of their opposition, which sometimes early in the season we see LSU do. They did not do that.
And I think that was a point of emphasis. Coming out, being aggressive offensively, defensively, I think they were very assignment sound, which you talked about how difficult it is against this option attack that Georgia Southern uses. I thought the thing that was impressive to me, Dave Aranda has dudes at every level, and they've been in the offense for a while, so they're able to do so much more. That's something that he talked about last offseason, is the ability to do as much defensively as he's been able to do since, maybe dating back to the days when he was at Wisconsin.
Well, I will tell you this. The defense is extremely physical. Right now, those front three, it's a 3-4, the front three, they're getting pushed back. They're getting knocked back onto the other side of the line of scrimmage. But what's impressive about these guys, they fly to the football. There is so much athleticism and speed on this defense. They're young dudes, but like you said, there's great players at every level of the defense. Think about Grant Delpit. Think about the Christian Fultons of the world. I mean, Grant Delpit might be the best defensive player in college football.
Yeah.
But they all feed off of him. He's a multiplier. He makes everybody around him on the defense play better and faster. And this is going to be really fun next week, man.
Yeah, if you're an LSU fan and you've been so focused on your team that you haven't paid much attention to Texas right now, through 3 quarters, the Longhorns are up on Louisiana Tech 38-zip. They look really good on both sides of the football. And you mentioned Sam Ehlinger. Now that's a dude. LSU's going to hit him a few times, but he's going to pop back up every single time. Yeah. In all likelihood. All right. Right now, again, we're continuing to keep our eye on different games here. In fact, we want to take you a little bit of bonus coverage right now. And if you're with us, you're not going to miss anything, because Auburn right now in Arlington is first and goal, down 8 against Oregon. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit on the call. And it is a Wildcat, looks like, for the touchdown.
I don't like that call, though, on first down, extending the ball out like that. It may have gotten knocked out before crossing the goal line. You don't do that until the 4th down try.
It isn't a while. That's Joey Gatewood, too. That's the first we've seen of him tonight.
He did cross the goal line there, but that's a dangerous thing to do on first down.
Gatewood did not get the start, of course. Bo Nix won that competition. Nick's been very, very hot and cold over the course of this game here. He's made a couple of big mistakes. We've seen him use the legs a little bit, but Joey Gatewood goes in. They're going to look at this, but certainly look good.
I think he had possession of it still when he crossed the goal line. But again, you're taught only to extend the football like that on 4th down because of just how dangerous it is to have it out there unsecured.
Well, to this point, they actually are not going to look at this. I'm wondering if eventually the whistles will blow, and they will.
Oh, man.
Oh,
movement on the offensive line.
You can't do that. They've got to go for 2 to tie this football game. And now they're going to have to do it 5 yards further back. We'll keep this right here, let you see what Auburn's able to do here. This was a 21-3, right? 6 or 3?
21-6.
21-6 at one point. Defense has completely stiffened up. Oregon was running at will against Auburn early in this game.
Yeah, this defense in the last 7 or 8 possessions has been on fire. They're pressuring the quarterback. They're playing great coverage down the field. They're adjusting to all the movements that got them the first, in the first 2 or 3 drives. They're playing lights out right now and getting them back into the game.
Look, I know you and Gus are buddies here, but do you agree with this decision to kick here? Again, you were going to go for 2. You're under 10 minutes to go. I realize the penalty pushes you back, but in many cases, doesn't that give you more opportunity for receivers to find a little bit of space and get themselves open? And
it does you no good. Kicking in the extra point, with the exception of maybe not losing some of the momentum you've created, it really doesn't do anything for you from the scoring standpoint.
Yeah, I would say that momentum is probably what he's thinking about right now. Again, they just had a big score. You know what it is when you go for 2 and then all of a sudden you miss it. They want positive things happening right now because there's still plenty of time left in the game.
No question. 21-20. All right, let's talk about it. We've kept an eye on this a little bit here. We'll actually, let's show you what else is going on. We'll dive into this game plenty when we get into our full SEC. Now, and again, we'll keep you posted because there's over 9.5 minutes left to go. All right, number 2, Alabama, opening up against Duke. Titans won 17 straight season openers and 82 in a row against non-ranked teams or unranked teams. Tua Tagovailoa into the second quarter before Bama gets on the board, but eventually they're able to do that as he finds Miller Forrestall for the touchdown.
Yeah, he hit his tight ends a couple of times today for touchdowns. It's good to see him because you know he's got these guys, right? He's got those explosive receivers. Now he's starting to find his tight ends a little bit in the passing game, too.
Absolutely. 42-3, 4 touchdown passes for Tua, and Alabama rolls after the slow-ish start. Meanwhile, Kentucky down at home early to Toledo, and then that changes. A.J. Rose gets himself into the end zone. First game as the true #1 back, of course. Backed up Benny Snell before this, and then...
How about the catch there? Bryce Oliver going up, getting the ball from above the defensive back's head. That's what you like to see, is a number of guys at the wide receiver position becoming legitimate targets for Terry Wilson.
Yeah, Terry Wilson, 19 of 26, 246, 2 touchdown passes, no interceptions. Kentucky does get the win by 2 scores. Ole Miss, tough game on the road at Memphis. Memphis back-to-back division champs in the Western Division of the American Athletic Conference. Down 10 was Ole Miss when Matt Corral takes it down inside the 2-yard line, and eventually it results in a Scottie Phillips touchdown. Corral making his first career start, just 9 of 19 throwing the football. But then Corral, big boo-boo here, takes a sack in the end zone for a Memphis safety, and Memphis wins.
Big boo-boo on Scottie Phillips there for not picking up the free blitzer.
The boo-boos all around there. Mississippi State and Tommy Stevens making his first start. Former Penn Stater, of course, spent a couple of years in Joe Moorhead's offense when Moorhead was the OC for James Franklin. And there's Tommy Stevens to Osiris Mitchell.
That's what you're looking for, right? We're looking for a vertical passing game. And let's not forget, he's got some tall receivers. Osiris Mitchell, great catch. 6'4", 6'5" guy. He's got a couple of those guys. Good vertical passing game today.
Stevens 20 for 30. Backup kicker Jordan Lawless in. Big field goal to make it a 2-possession game because Jace Chrisman was suspended. North Carolina, South Carolina in Charlotte. Mac Brown's first game coaching since 2013. First game coaching UNC since 1997. And his defense stepped up big late in this game. South Carolina was up 20-9, fell behind the Tar Heels. Jake Bentley throws 2 picks in the final 3 minutes.
That was after missing a wide-open Shi Smith on a possible touchdown there on second down.
North Carolina won 2 games a year ago. This one, not one that will cause Will Muschamp to sleep well. Losing to the Tar Heels, 24-20 in Charlotte. Tennessee, Peyton Manning on hand to watch Jeremy Pruitt and his alma mater. Oh, Manning and Leaf?
Yeah.
Huh? Those two will forever be tied together. 1997 season, 98 draft, of course. Ty Chandler, Tennessee touchdown, but they trailed late. And then Dan Ellington for Georgia State. 0-10 against Power 5 teams, make it 1-10.
Ellington was awesome today.
He was.
2 touchdowns, throwing the ball. That one there on the ground. Too much for the Tennessee defense.
Oh, we're going to have to get down and dirty with that Tennessee loss a little bit later. Meanwhile, Arkansas taking on Portland State. Everybody eager to see Ben Hicks run this offense that he's so familiar with from his time with Chad Morris at SMU. Here he hands off.
Didn't look like he was very familiar with it today. That offense looked bad in the first half especially.
And it didn't look much better in the second half. Defense, though, Chiz, did look good for Arkansas. They've got to be better there.
Yeah, I love to see it. I mean, this defense looked completely different today. Today they got turnovers. Today they got pressure on the quarterback. And that's what they're going to have to do, guys, to move forward and get some wins in the league. Got to play better defense than they did last year.
All right, let's update right now what's going on in Laramie, Wyoming. Missouri is battling back, now trailing 37-31. I did not catch the last score. Did you guys happen to see that?
I did not see it either.
We're going to update it. We're sitting here.
Hey, it looked like they were in bad trouble for a while.
We just showed you an Arkansas highlight. Jonathan Nance, former Razorback, 53-yard touchdown pass from Kelly Bryant, who in his Missouri debut has been a bit of a roller coaster here, but this thing is anything but over now, and Missouri down 6.
Missouri's offense looked good. First couple possessions, go down, score touchdowns, and all of a sudden the turnover bug starts biting him. 3 turnovers in the game, and one of the biggest ones was a Kelly Bryant fumble that led to a scoop and score for Wyoming.
It was, but I think, again, it takes a little bit of time to get in the rhythm, right? And I think Kelly Bryant now, you're seeing him, he's thrown for 360 yards up to this point, right? And if he'll just protect the football, that was one thing that he did today that you could look at that was not good, but I've seen him run the ball well today. They had some good design quarterback runs. He's just got to keep going at it and throwing the ball down the field.
Sometimes when you fall behind big like that and you really don't have anything to lose, you're going 2-minute up-tempo.
A little looser.
You don't feel the pressure, and it becomes a little bit more efficient of an offense, and that confidence seems like the momentum seems to be clearly on Missouri's side.
They were down 34-17.
Yeah.
I mean, they've battled back now to make this a 6-point game. Bryant's numbers, by the way, 26 for 40, 372, 2 touchdowns and a pick. They've not been able to establish the run, which you would have thought, I would think, against a Wyoming front, Missouri would be able to do that.
Not good sign when you're not able to run the football against a Wyoming defense, and they certainly have not been able to pass block very well either. Wyoming's getting a bunch of pressure on Kelly Bryant.
Well, we're talking a lot about the offense, who at this point has scored 31 points, but defensively, guys, they can't stop the run.
Yeah.
I mean, they're over 250.
272.
They were at 250 after 3 quarters, okay? They've had a 64-yard run and a 70-some-odd-yard run. What have we seen from Missouri early in the season, a couple different years in a row? A defense that's not fitting. They're not in the right spots, right? We saw somebody last year early. I think it was a Southern Illinois or somebody.
Missouri State?
It might have been Missouri State a couple years ago, but Southern Illinois running up and down the field on these guys early in the season. You got Kel Garrett back at the middle linebacker spot.
That's first team All-SEC.
That's right. Yeah. You talked about having dudes up front that are 325 pounds to make the middle of the defense stout. But they can't stop the run right now.
We're not talking about a gimmicky rushing offense either. This is not like they're going against Georgia Tech's old triple option. They're getting the ball run right down their face, and this is not an SEC-type offensive line that's pushing them off the ball like this.
They've also got, Wyoming's got a big quarterback, Sean Chambers. He's only thrown 16 passes, but he's run for 113 yards on 9 carries. He is a heap to bring down. And he's been doing some damage against Missouri, too. But right now, Missouri's defense on the field, over 6 minutes to go. We'll keep you posted on that. We showed you LSU a rout in their opener against Georgia Southern, and this is happening now. Let's send you to Baton Rouge for Ed Ogeron's postgame reaction.
+2. Our defense held them to 98 yards. This is a good offense, and this is a well-coached football team. Cade York had 2 good field goals and a good punt return by Derek Stingley, so overall, a good team win. I'm proud of the way our team prepared. We're going to protect the team tonight. Tomorrow's the day off. We'll have Tell the Truth Monday, and on to the next opponent. Any questions?
Coach, Joe Burrow told us this summer that you expect 40, 50, 60 points a game. Y'all hit that number in the first half. Just talk about his performance and the offense was just cooking in the first half.
You know, we have a great scheme, and Steve and Joe did a tremendous job of check with me's and stuff like that, put them in the right place. But I thought Joe was on fire. He threw some great balls. Our receivers caught the ball. There were those receivers that were open. There were great concepts going on out there. We had no sacks tonight, which I'm very pleased with.
The saying was everyone eats. I think you had 9 different people catch the ball in the first
Yeah.
half. And just the spreading it all over.
Want to spread the ball around the athletes, give them the ball in space, and let them make plays. And that's what they did. You know, again, Joe can see the field. Joe can go through his route progression. Now, opponents are going to be a little bit tougher coming up, and the pass rushers are going to beat. The ball's going to have to come out quicker, and I know that.
Ed, how did you feel about the pace of the offense?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. We could have done whatever we wanted to tonight. I thought those guys were phenomenal.
You said you guys were only really going to operate at 11 personnel. Didn't look like you varied much from that.
No.
Didn't need to, really?
Didn't need to.
And if you said any doubt that you guys could take this from the practice field and put it in a game?
I felt good. I felt good the whole day. I told the team, I know you're going to play great. I told the coach staff, I feel like we're going to play great, and they did. There was no signs of a let-up. There was no signs of not being focused. We had a walkthrough today. I can look in those guys' eyes. Devin White talked to us today. It was phenomenal. I just see the look of our players. They're ready to go.
Ed, you said y'all had studied Georgia Southern's offense since February. Do you think you could have done it any better tonight?
No. I don't think our coaching staff could have done a better job, and I don't think our players could have played any better. They did a tremendous job, and there was some preparation going on. There were some different calls that Dave could make. We didn't have to use because we played good fundamental football. And overall, I thought the tackling was great. We worked on tackling. The thing you were as a head coach, the opening of the season is missed tackles. We didn't have many tonight.
And knowing the magnitude of the game, how much of the offense did you actually show tonight?
No, we didn't show it all. We didn't need to. You know, the stuff was working on 11 personnel, but we got 4 wides, we have 5 wides. We have an empty package that we haven't used, you know.
When did y'all decide to start tonight?
You know, he, like I said in every interview, watch out for Damone Clark. And he was, you know, I look at the linebacker grades on a daily basis, and I see some 67%, 67%, and I see 100 about Damone Clark every day. And he came to work. He showed Dave that he can play tonight. Like I said, I think he's going to be a tremendous LSU linebacker.
Why didn't Michael Divinity play tonight?
You know, we handle all those things in-house.
Was Sadiq a coach's decision too?
Yeah.
And what kind of impact did Jacoby have moving him down the line against that triple option?
He's dangerous. He's got speed. He's a good tackler. He's a good rusher. We didn't get to rush him much tonight, and he's strong and he's physical. He's probably the strongest player pound for pound on our football team.
When you have a coach, you talked about, sorry, John, you talked about a list of positives if you started. Will that be the quickest tell the truth Monday you've ever had on Monday?
Well, it's going to be a good one, no doubt about that. But again, we have a 24-hour rule, and good, bad, and different. We got to let it go. And we got to get on to the next opponent, which is going to be a big challenge.
You mentioned Stingley in the return game. Just overall, how do you think he did?
I think he did phenomenal. You know, he's going to make you miss now. There was one punt coming out of their end zone. We're going to go middle return, and usually a middle return is phenomenal coming out the end zone. But we didn't do a good enough job of blocking. So we need to do a better job of freeing him up, and I think the guy's going to make some tremendous plays for us.
So did Clyde Edwards-Helaire tell you wanted to play quarterback, or how did that end up?
That's a little razzle-dazzle that Ismaker came up with, man. He's going out, taking a risk.
What difference does it make when you have a punt returner that can give you the 2 returns like he gave you?
Yeah. Well, field position, the ability to strike. You know, we had Reggie Bush at USC, and he made a difference for us. You know, I'm not saying he's Reggie Bush, but once this guy gets it down, I think he's going to be very dangerous.
The 2 takeaways early against a team that only did it
Yeah.
times last year.
It was tremendous, especially that sack fumble by Rashard Lawrence. I was glad to see it. You know, we had penetration by the defensive line. I thought our defensive line played good tonight. We played a lot of guys, but that made the difference. It turned the momentum of the ball game.
And you talked about playing a lot of guys, for a lot of freshmen. You got a lot of different guys in
Mhm.
the game. How good was that for just kind of keeping everyone
It was great for morale. It was great to know that they work hard, they're going to play. And most of the guys got a chance to play tonight. Darrell Rosenthal played a lot, and I thought he did good. Badar played for the first time and started, and I think he did a good job. So those guys are going to be confident they can go in the game and play. Yeah, I thought that was a hell of a cut he made on a swing pass. And, you know, those guys have been showing us some tremendous things in practice, both John and Tyrone. I thought Chris Curry came in and ran the ball very well, too. So we have 5 capable backs. Leonard Fournette did a good job. We have 5 capable backs, and we're going to play them all.
And what do you feel like is the biggest jump this offensive line has made this offseason? And I know it's early, but just
Pass protection, no sacks tonight. I remember when we struggled against Southeast Louisiana last year. And so they were a lot better tonight.
Joe mentioned a couple weeks back this was the most improved group he felt like coming out of fall.
I believe that Lloyd Cushenberry and Damian Lewis has taken their leadership. Austin Douglas has gotten better. I think Sadiq is going to be ready to go next week, and he has gotten better. But we're going to need to be better.
And you guys have talked about the offense and the changes that were coming, and people in Baton Rouge have heard that for a while. And
Yeah.
Like 55-3 answers some of the questions out there.
You know how that is. Just got to keep on playing. No, I mean, listen, we handle all things in house. We're going to run the spread offense. We're going to score points. We got athletes, and that's what we're doing.
Did the ball game make a believer of you that you could do this style of offense?
Oh yeah, no question. See Justin Jefferson nowadays, I think is phenomenal. We got some phenomenal receivers, and again, the scheme is a lot better this year. We have answers. We have answers to different coverages. We check in with me on the line of scrimmage. We put our guys in position to have success.
What did you think of Terrace Marshall?
I think really good. Now, you know, he's really had a good camp. Last year he came, he was still nursing an injury. It's the first time that he's going through an off-season program. He's in great shape. He's a phenomenal receiver for us.
Are you anxious to see what you can do with this offense against a top 10 or an elite defense?
Sure. You know, there's going to be some things. There was some penetration in the backfield. We're going to have to run the ball better. Let's see if we can protect the passer against some other opponents we play. So we know we can throw the ball. We know we can get guys open. Can we protect the pass on a consistent basis? I think that's going to be a big answer, a big key for us.
Speaking of throwing the ball, the Georgia game, Miles Garrett on some of the plays. They had a good game. Talk about, because you know you sometimes have to have more than one quarterback to be successful in one
Yeah.
of the season. Talk about Miles Garrett.
Yeah, I'm very proud of Miles. Miles has matured. He's gained weight. He's more comfortable in the pocket. I thought he made some tremendous throws. You can see that his arm and his release is quick, very smart. He missed a couple of throws, but I think the more he gets in there, the better off he's going to be. We plan to play him as much as we can in significant plays this year.
You had said that you wanted to see Cade York under the lights. What did you think as a freshman?
I thought he did phenomenal. And again, he's been on point in camp, and he didn't blink tonight. I thought he did a great job.
Yeah, I saw your tight ends out there pass routes.
How about that, huh? That was nice. Thaddeus Smalls did a tremendous job. TK McClendon had a good catch. The more we use the tight ends, obviously the better we're going to be.
What was the biggest adjustment to have that improvement in the red zone and being able to?
I just think, Steve and Joe Brady, Steve Ensminger's got a mattress in the office with a little purple LSU blanket, and I don't think he's left since the beginning of camp. Those guys, I'm telling you, those guys, I go home at 10 o'clock at night, they work, and I come back at 6, they're still meeting. And they've done a tremendous job, him and Joe and the offensive staff, of putting in this offense and making it work.
I don't guess we'll see you till Tuesday. Can we get some early thoughts on Texas? I mean, fans have been looking forward to.
Yeah, here's the deal. It's going to be a great game. We know that. But, we're going to enjoy this victory and take tomorrow and we're going to go through the process of Tell the Truth Monday. Then we're going to press on to Texas when it's time.
Coach, we'll take one more question for Coach.
Scored 5 touchdowns in a game was back in 2013 with Mettenberger. Just kind of speak a little bit about what that means for Joe Burrow.
Yeah, well, Joe is a tremendous leader for us. We were coming in from a pregame warm-up, and he was hitting his helmet against the wall. He just love him. His game day, man. He's on, and he's a good quarterback. Thank God that we have him. He's a good leader. So I'm just happy for him. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
So you hear Ed Oger on LSU up winners 55-3 in a game that they clearly were not overlooking with Texas on the horizon, but you, of course, knew that you had the entire offseason. You heard Ed O talking about it. We've been working on that triple option since February.
Hey, I got to be honest with you.
Go ahead.
From a coach's standpoint, that's got to be the greatest press conference when all 3 phases go well.
Doesn't happen often.
No.
But I don't know if you guys noticed that. Talking about him and listening to Ed O, I don't know how many times he referenced, that's what we do in practice, that's what we do. Did y'all notice that? Because that is a phenomenal message that he's literally sending to his players. You are, on game day, what you do in practice. If he said it once, he said it 5 times. And what he's seeing is the same thing when he sees a guy being productive in practice, it's happening in the game. Whether it's a wideout, whether it's the defense tackling, that was a great message because it's happening right now. Their practice habits are apparently really, really good.
Yeah.
And he emphasizes that, and he says, voila, this is what you get.
From what we saw here, how much do you think they showed, right? I mean, is there anything that they prepared for Texas that we didn't?
We were going to come out and all guns a-blazing, and they definitely did that. I thought that from the get-go, they showed a lot of RPO stuff. They showed some jet sweep stuff. They showed a bunch of different things that I think I wouldn't have a problem getting that on tape and forcing Texas to try to prepare for a full arsenal of things that you're going to bring to them.
And I think the importance of actually getting the timing down and actually running them in a game situation matters more.
Yeah.
Look, you can look at it on tape. You don't know when we're running it, right? So what's more important?
Right.
It's more important for us to go out there and execute it in a game environment just to see what, we can coach it off tape on Sunday or Monday. The timing, what does that look like? I think that kind of overrides any sort of notion that we need to hide
I never really bought that anybody actually hides things. I think you game plan differently for different opponents, and maybe you're going to roll out some things for Texas that don't necessarily apply to what you're doing when you're playing against Georgia Southern. But I've never been on a team that's hidden anything because they think they're going to win too easily.
But when it comes to implementing so many parts of a brand new offense, you really have to try to perfect it to some degree before you try to implement it against a team.
When you go through training camp, it's installation. You're building every single day, installing your entire playbook. And then when you get to the game, you're paring things down that maybe are going to work against the opposing offense or defense.
Yeah, you don't use everything every game.
Yeah.
I mean, when people say that you only use 65% of your playbook, well, that's because versus what they do, that's the game plan, right? You don't. I mean, you look at playbooks, CD. You walk in, the playbook's this thick. Who runs that many defenses and offenses? Nobody, but it's a library that you build that you can pull from so that you can game plan.
Now these kids have iPads, man. They don't even carry playbooks around anymore.
Yeah, you're right.
Boy, I used to have to carry that big, thick one around in a backpack, hurt your back. It was tough.
Yeah, now the kids have iPads.
Yeah.
2-year-olds.
Millennials.
Like we do, too.
Millennials.
Unbelievable. All right. So much stuff to get into in this day in the SEC, including Alabama trying to win their season opener for what would be the 18th straight year. They're used to playing Power 5 teams like they did against Duke on Saturday.